The world we live in is a facade. Underneath the surface lies the firmament for truth. At the intersection of hidden ascended masters and magical adepts is obsession. Soon the cosmos will die and be reborn. Next time around, the world might be a terrible place, or it could be paradise. Someone gets to decide. Might as well be you. Belief is power, and if you want to change the world, you better be the one bringing the fork to the table. Welcome to Unknown Armies. On Vorpal Tales, I am Eric, at Maron Recluse on Twitter, your games master for this Terrifying Tales series that continues with our current storyline, You. Due to the mature themes of horror and violence explored in our tale, we encourage listener discretion. We are Vorpal Tales, and we play a wide assortment of games 7 days a week that fall into two categories: awesome adventures and terrifying tales. Be sure to check our calendar on vorpaltales.com to stay up to date with all of our shows. Check out Atlas Games' suite of tabletop RPGs and board games on atlas-games.com, where you too can get a physical or digital copy of awesome games like Unknown Armies. Remember to follow Vorpal Tales on Twitch. Visit our website to find the link to join our Discord. We're on most major media sites, including YouTube, where you can catch up on previous episodes. So remember to follow, subscribe, and hit the bell to get all of the updates. Vorpal Tales is also on DriveThruRPG, by the way. Check out some of our very own Vorpal Tales supplements that include characters, monsters, and scenarios made for many of the games that we play weekly. We want to thank Atlas Games for making awesome games for us to play and for providing support for their players. Also, a very special thanks to Astral Tabletop, the enchilada burrito of online tabletop gaming. Special credit shout-out goes out to Nocturnum, spelled Nctrnm, for the use of their song Driveway Mix 2, Dark Somnium Music, Least Upperbound, and Repulsive Sound for their tracks as well. Check out more awesome tunes at nocturnum.bandcamp.com, as well as on YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud under Repulsive Sound. Also, very special thanks to our resident rock stars at Nate Mid and our producer Corey for helping to design our awesome character sheets for Astral. And last but not least, a warm thanks to our listeners and fans for tuning in. Our adepts and avatars of the underground are here and ready to bring their fork to the table. Players, tell our audience who you are, where they can find you online, and who you will be playing this afternoon. Beginning with Key.
Hello. Yes, I am Kisama. Yeah, totally. You can find me on Twitter at TrueKisama, and tonight I will be playing Lucius.
Who's totally Lucius?
Totally. 100%.
Totally.
Mike.
I'm Mike Leader. Today I'll be playing Jace Rogers, failed comedian and avatar of the Fool. You can find me online at Dr. Fusion with the Z.
And last but not least, Corey.
Hey there, I'm Corey Frang, aka Narf on the interwebs, they, them, and I will be playing Jesse, he, him, the Automata Mechanomancer.
Yes. We're short a few hands today just because storms and whatnot in the upper northeast corridor of the United States, so we shall press on and hopefully no one will die. I'm sure everything will be fine.
And hopefully my internet remains stable.
Yes, fingers crossed. Previously, Lucius, while working at the Snake Pit, reviewed a strange voicemail from a number he didn't recognize. Just choose to exist, and then call me. Jesse receives a call from Lucius, who doesn't seem to remember the last 2 weeks. Realizing they were running out of time to stop the end of the world, the Cabal decided to tackle the issue of Frank Gordon by splitting up. Jesse and Sean would fly a prop plane to New Jersey, look into this new Lucius, and plan to make their way to Wyoming to save Sean's son Jackson from Frank Gordon's clutches. Jace, Damien, and Gus would fly commercially to Seattle and meet with Luciano Vargas, the head of the Occultus Familia chapter in North America. They would do so with the intention of making some potential allies to help raid the compound in Wyoming. En route, Sean felt the presence of his father, Frank Gordon, use the power of his proxy ritual to take over his body. Fighting it down, Sean succeeded in preventing his father from possessing him yet again. When asked if he was back with Jesse, Sean responded by heaving vomit onto the interior of the cockpit. Gus, Jace, and Damien met with Luciano Vargas in his office on the third floor of a large mansion estate just outside of Seattle. Gus told Vargas that he and his cabal wanted to find and terminate a singular Annihilomancer, Frank Gordon. Upon hearing this, Vargas had a subtle reaction, which Jace picked up on immediately, and realized that the Occultus Familia were working hand in hand with Gordon on his plan to bring about the end of the world. The former comedian passed a note to Damien and Gus respectively as Vargas excused himself to take a call outside. They had walked in expecting allies, but instead found themselves in the lion's den. Jace kicked the desk, causing something to fall over and triggered an opening nearby at a bookcase, revealing a hidden staircase that led down. When one of the two guards positioned in the room went to reset the passageway, Gus told him to book it and stood up. Damien used his chaos magic, causing the guard to go blind temporarily and tumbled down this passageway. He and Jace raced down the secret stairwell as bullets and spells began to fly in Vargas's office. Gus remained behind, saying, "I can handle guns, go." Jace armed himself with the unconscious guard's sidearm and fired into his chest twice at point-blank range, painting the walls with blood. Emerging in a darkened basement, the pair got a large whiff of corpses that lined the walls and were stacked waist-high. At the rear of the room was a large stone altar, where a young adult male lay dead. Damien identified the work of a Thanatomancer, noticing all the bodies were killed in the same way, disembowelment. Jace worked feverishly to move the bodies from the stairway leading out of the basement while Damien tried to block the doorway. Too late. Several Occultus Familia adepts made their way down to the basement, firing through the door. Getting an idea, both men pushed the heavy stone altar and successfully blocked the way, slowing the enemy's advance. Before leaving, Damien pulled a demon from beyond the veil and left it in the room of rotting corpses. When the adepts broke through the door, they were met with a menagerie of undead that clawed at their faces. Seeing the activity inside the mansion, most of the occultist adepts made their way inside or tried to seal the perimeter. Jace and Damien jumped into a car and drove off the property, with one pair of adepts catching up quickly beside them in pursuit. Meanwhile, Jesse and Sean landed in Jersey and made their way to the Snake Pit, where they found Lucius bartending again. Not recognizing the pair, he leaned in and asked if they were with the Shadow People. They tried to figure out why Lucius didn't remember them, or the last 2 weeks when they were interrupted by a Sikh man in formal wear. He claimed to represent a woman who waited to greet them in the corner of the bar. He raised a finger to his lips in a manner that they understood to mean that he was with the Sleepers. They met with Angela Forsyth, one of the leaders of this worldwide cabal. She began with an apology, stating that the Sleepers had come after the group mistakenly thinking that they were gunning for Frank Gordon. They had been tracking Gordon for years, but only recently came to find out that he was planning something inside of Seattle. She didn't give up too much information, but offered to enter into an accord with Gustavo's people, so that they can mutually ensure the destruction of this plan. In return, she offered to restore Lucius's memories of the last 2 weeks and reveal what he really was. Sean and her shook on it, and she carried through with her part of the bargain. Lucius was rocked by a stream of information that flooded his mind, causing him to keep everything within view at all times, fearing that they would disappear, much like what he experienced in the Room of Rusted Things back at the House of Renunciation. She revealed this Lucius to be a split, one born from the events at the crossroads weeks ago. Normally, she explained, the Sleepers would destroy such deviants, but they could make an exception for this one, especially since the original disappeared into thin air. They agreed to meet back at the Snake Pit should they survive what was coming, at which point Angela and her Sleepers would reward any of Gus's proteges with a clean slate. With the plane now fueled up and ready to go, the team rushed Lucius to the landing strip and proceeded to the next leg of their journey to Wyoming. As they boarded their things, however, Jesse received some dire news from Gus via text. The Occultus Familia was a trap. They're working with Gordon. Back to Damien and Jace, the Anthropomancer used his powers to cause the pursuing car's tires to blow out. This caused the gunner's fire to stray, but not before damaging the car with bullets and magic alike. Just as the car began to correct itself, however, another car drove out to join them on the way off the property and towards the highway. Damien recognized a group of adepts from the night of the Crossroads incident weeks past. The tired-looking woman in the rear of the vehicle caused the pursuant driver to lapse into a coma, causing the car to veer off course. The dusky-skinned woman with the facial scars made finger guns and caused the remaining occultist goon to slump over dead, as if from an actual gunshot wound. The pair pulled over, as directed, and watched the driver get out and introduce himself, and the rest of his trio. He introduced himself as Eustace, and the other two women as Ella and Sophia. All were former occultist familia adepts who were laying in wait for Frank Gordon to appear so that they may kill him. Needing a place to have a longer discussion, they agreed to move quickly while they had the time. Pulling into an abandoned gas station off the side of the road, Eustace revealed that Vargas had struck a deal with Gordon to safeguard Seattle and ensure the Familia's survival once the Annihilaments executed his plan to end the world. To do so, he would use one of their most powerful adepts, Ishiko Takashi, the Death Mage. To counter the wards Gordon had put in place using one of the Familia's Urbanomancers, Eustace's group had attempted to get one of their own to undo those sigils, slowing down and postponing Gordon's plans to open a rift into the Veil. The Familia had guaranteed their street mage's cooperation by holding his son hostage. Because of their falling out with the OF, Eustace explained they could no longer access the Urbanomancer's son and similarly lost contact with their own. If they were going to undo the protection to the city and stop Gordon's plans, they were going to need more help. Damien assured the trio that he and his cabal were up to the task. Jace put in a short call to Jesse to report what had happened. Around this time, however, Sean began to convulse and soon found himself back in his father's body, bound, gagged, and blindfolded somewhere. Meanwhile, Frank Gordon once again possessed his son's body and gave Lucius and Jesse a message to convey back to Sean. Because they had refused to supply him with Gustavo's true name, he would now face the consequences of his actions. Jackson, he said, was dead. All right. So for the long intro, that's what happened last time. We had a week there where you just took a week off just to kind of recuperate and have other cool charity-related events take place in the time slot. But we're back, and we are now proceeding with the last leg of this journey. I think we shall pick it back up with the majority of you who are back in Seattle after having met with Eustace Crane and his other two adepts, or former adepts, of the Occultist Familia, or the Black Magic Mafia, as they're often called. Let's see. So with you currently, we have Damien and Jace. And they are meeting with this trio of former Occultist Familia adepts in Seattle. You had pulled off into a gas station and you were discussing what the situation was on the ground in Seattle with concerns to Frank Gordon's special plan to end the world. He had informed you that there were two Urbanomancers that were originally part of, well, they weren't part of the Occultist Familia, but there was one who was their teacher. This one adept taught these two younger people how to become street mages, essentially. Basically, they gain their power from being in the city. Like, they're basically become a part of it, and they can use it to their advantage. That's how their powers manifest. This teacher of theirs, though, died or was killed by the Occultist Familia, as he explains, because he too went against what they wanted to do in helping Frank Gordon bring the world to this point. He was originally the one that was conscripted to put up protective wards all throughout the city. So, because he refused, the Black Magic Mafia responded as any mafia would, and he got axed, as so to speak. That's where his two proteges came in, because there aren't that many Urbanomancers lying around everywhere for the Occultist Familia to just pick up and put into work. They proceeded to target his proteges. Of the two, one of them was named William Barkley. He is a African American man in his 30s and 40s, around there. And according to what Eustace tells you, the Occultus Familia wanted some kind of leverage on him, some sort of way to force him into putting up these wards. So they inflicted his son, David, with some sort of a strange mystical disease of some sort that only they could cure. They were keeping him somewhere away from William, and this is how they were essentially forcing him to put up these wards all throughout the city. And Eustace kind of walks you over to the rear of the gas station, and even in the walls inside here, there is like a graffiti on the wall, and he kind of points out some of them, and one in particular that says "Wizzy" in very like stylized black marker, tag, and he's like, "That's him. That's his sigil, so to speak." These belong. Wizzy and the other Urbanomancer protege, Evelyn, are known as Wizzy and Eve 62, respectively. It's like Wizzy's been putting up these wards all throughout the city for months, and months. And Evelyn, realizing that the Occultus Familia had pushed William into doing this, has begun to put up her own counter ward. These two are what are called on the streets as night taggers, and they've had this sort of tit for tat going on for several months, for the better part of a year, really. Every time Wizzy puts up a ward somewhere in a public place, no matter how discreet, Eve finds it, puts up her own, and undoes it. This doesn't cancel Frank Gordon's plan as much as it does delay it, however. So we still, in order to bring it to a halt, we have to get to the heart of it. Obviously, Frank Gordon and his Thanatomancer are the main targets here, but I think we owe it to somebody like Mr. Barkley to free him of his current burden. And he's like, and you find there's some sort of parallel there. I mean, as soon as he starts talking about this guy's son being held captive, it's like, oh, this is all too real now. With Sean's son Jackson being held in similar sort of circumstances by Frank Gordon himself. It seems that the Occultus Familia and Frank were meant to be in that way because they operate under several similar ways. And that's the basic skinny that he gives you about this particular situation.
Well, this is terrible. I mean, until I've got Gus back here, there's not much I can do, and with Damien exhausted, our power levels are kind of tied up at the moment. But it seems like helping Barkley the best thing to do. But how do we help him? How do we help him free a kid from a mystical disease? That's way out of my line.
Agreed, he says. Only the Occultus Familia knows how to do that. Who was that old man who was with you, though? Is that who you're referring to as Gus? And you realize, Gus. Like, yeah, they watched you go in, and they were like, oh, that's not Frank Gordon. We're not going to shoot him yet.
No, that's Gus. He's my boss.
He's your boss. Does he know any magic? Is he an adept like we are?
Gus knows a lot of things. I couldn't tell you what he knows in that regard. He's someone to be afraid of for sure, and he's quite dangerous. But I don't know if he can help in that regard.
Well, he never left the mansion. He hasn't come back out as far as I can tell.
Gus said he'd be all right. I trust Gus for that in that regard.
All right. Means like, well, you cowboys are willing to help us. We're willing to help you. It's like we've attempted to try to make contact with Barkley for months, but we haven't seen hide nor hair of him. And Eve is even more difficult to track down. After all, she is an Urbanomancer. One distinctive detail, though. Eve is a rather young protege of the previous Urbanomancer. We suspect she's not even past high school yet. Okay. So more than likely, she's staying in one of the districts nearby, one of the high schools. And she probably, under the right kind of spectrum, he says. She probably stands out like a sore thumb. Damien kind of gets his meaning. He's like, ah, I see. So she's got a lot of mojo she's got carrying around with her. He's like, I suspect so, if she's been keeping up with Wizzy, putting up his wards all over the city. I don't know what her deal is yet, though, or what the Occultus Familia may have over her. But she's obviously interested in trying to prevent this from happening, much like her teacher.
She may not think she has any. She may not think she has any allies, and that's something we have to talk to her about. So we have to talk to her, and finding Barkley could be challenging, but I have this knack for being in the right place at the right time. We can see if that'll get us to him.
Maybe you can have better luck. We had attempted to access his home within the city, but we noticed immediately that the Occultus Familia has a few goons watching the place. We're not exactly subtle, he says.
No, but if you could pull the goons off of the place, and that'll give me time to talk to him, maybe.
Yes, but we must be careful, because the Occultus Familia has Barkley in their hands. Whatever it is that you encounter there, I suggest you be careful.
I've learned not to trust anybody or anything these days. Just telling him that he's got support and we're going to try and free him from this may give him the hope he needs to work to our advantage. So I guarantee you, if they've got his son, he's going to want out of this, and he's not going to like them at all.
I think Sophia could be helpful in providing some overwatch, don't you think? And she kind of like goes to the back corner of the gas station, comes out with a sniper rifle. She kind of just nods wordlessly.
Oh, yes, some high power safety. Yes, I like this. I think we can work well together.
You see, Ella's like, I could. She's like nodding off, and she's like, I can try putting them to sleep. You may want to save your abilities, Ella. You might be needed later.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. I have to find out what's going on with the rest of our team. I think they're still in flight. In fact, let me message them right now.
Very well. I'll start the car, he says. You see the Entropomancer walks out, starts up the car, waiting for you to get back in. You see Damien's like, oh, shit, I'm out of juice. I gotta get some mojo back if we're gonna do anything. Are you gonna be okay if you go with these guys to check out Barkley's place?
I'll be fine. Get your stuff taken care of. We need you powered up.
Hey, Eustace, can you give me a ride into town? Right off the highway, anywhere's good. Sure. Gets in the car.
So I'll just message Jesse the simple statement of things are not so good here. Haven't heard from Gus. We may have a line in with some Urbano monsters. Investigating this now. Get to me. Let me know if you're going to make it here to Seattle or if you're going somewhere else. It's pretty much me by myself at this point with Damien underpowered.
My response is, Frank says Jackson is dead. He took over Sean in flight. Unsure where we'll land. Sean's still out.
Oh shit. Well, keep me up to date.
Yeah. There's a thumbs up emoji.
You see Damien gets in the car with Eustace. The other two women follow suit, and they get in the passenger seat and the back seat, respectively. So you're welcome to jump in and go with them to where they're going to go and try to see if they can gain entry to Barkley's old residence. It's a small little apartment, like kind of hole in the wall place.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll totally go with them for that. I have an inkling of an idea of a plan, as much as Jace could ever actually have a plan for anything. So let's go there and trust the universe. That's a plan.
Yeah, actually, it's not an apartment. It's like an older house. It's in a fairly decent looking neighborhood. It's fall, so it's like dead leaves all over the place, and it's Seattle, so it's overcast. It's looking like it's gonna rain. It's cold outside. Uh, they bring you down, and they kind of roll down the neighborhood, just kind of looking this way and that, and you see Sophia just does like a real quick glance around like this as you pass through, and she holds up her fingers, 3 she counts. And you see Eustace is like, oh, 3 adepts. That might be dangerous. Like, you may need to try to sneak into his place instead of accessing the front door. I'll leave that up to you, however. It's like,
Are they
so
all in
you're
one
pretty
place?
lucky?
Are they being smart about this?
That's an excellent question. Well, they just seem to be waiting in their car, watching the front door.
You have a sniper rifle and everybody in a car. You can shoot that gas tank.
I mean, look, kind of gives Sophia a glance, and she's like, the car kind of halts, comes to a slow halt. She has like a big fuck off, duffel bag, like heavy duty, slings it over her shoulder and just walks in between 2 houses and disappears. So she's gonna be up there somewhere, just like taking aim. You see, after a few minutes, he gets a text on his phone. His phone buzzes, and he's like, "She's in position."
I guess we'll just wait to see the chaos, and then I'll head up to his apartment.
Damien just got dropped off on the way over here at some place, like some bar or whatever. He's like getting charges at the moment.
He'll totally get charged up in the bar. That's his best place.
Yeah. Ella's in the back trying to stay awake. She's like, her hands are shaking. She's got a cup of coffee in her hands. Eustace is just kind of like playing with his with a coin between his fingers. Do you have a specific plan? Like, do you want her to shoot their car out or something? It's not an action movie,
I want her to cause the distraction, and then when they're
Like
distracted,
okay.
I will stealthily head my way to his apartment.
You want it to be like their windshield, or sorry, the rear view mirror or side mirror disappears because she just shot it out, and they're like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck was that?" Or do you
I
want
was
it to be
hoping
like,
that she would
starts taking pot shots at the car?
just pot shots into the windows of the car, which will get their attention real quick.
Oh,
And
okay.
she isn't to kill anybody, but that's not my call.
So there's 3 people inside of this car. They're chit-chatting, talking idle chit-chat, and one of them is like smoking, and like as they're talking, there's like a boom, and when they look back, they see the back windshield is cracked, but it hasn't been shattered yet. And you see, they all look at it for a second, and then it registered, oh, we're being shot at. And then finally they're just like, gun, move. You see the guy in the front who just looks like this pale dude with scars everywhere, bald. He just kind of like starts the car and starts moving out, and she continues to fire through this sniper rifle. And at the end, she has this long as fuck silencer. So there's just like a loud clap, like a bah! And then there's like an impact, and the side of the windshield on the driver's side just cracks and spider webs, and she keeps hitting the same spot despite the fact that the car is moving quickly, like bah, bah. And it's eventually going to crack, but it's obviously a reinforced car, so it's a little bit more difficult to defeat than usual. You hear the collapse coming down the street and like echoing, and that's when Eustace is like, I think that's your I think that now is your moment.
Jace is out of the car and doing his best to blend into the neighborhood as he jogs across the street in his slovenly fashion and heads up to the apartment.
Excellent. You make your way up to it's a small, rather looking house. It's I'd say it's a 2-story house. It's like little narrow, like looking houses, and you see it's completely overgrown with weeds and like dead leaves from the nearby tree and stuff. Looks like nobody's picked it up in months. You kind of wade your way through. Do you go through like the front door, or do you like jump the fence and try to go
right
to
the front door?
back,
Because if I go into the way, there's gonna be protections, and I'm gonna get my ass smoked by magic. So Jace will do his best door-to-door salesman just walk right to the front door, ring the bell. Not even bat an eye. Like nothing's going on.
Perfect. You ring the bell. Zzz. Less than 30 seconds later, there's an answer at the door. The door opens a smidge, just, and you see like a middle-aged African-American man. He's got like kind of like salt and pepper hair. He's just kind of looking. He's looking at you like this through the gap in the wall between the door frame. He doesn't say or do anything though.
Nope.
He just
Jason
looks at
puts on his big smile. Hi, sorry to bother you. I don't have a lot of time because you're being watched, but we understand about your son. We're doing our best to help you solve this problem. I wanted to let you know that you're not alone, and
Cool.
we're going to do our best to take care of you.
Excellent. Roll a notice check.
Oh boy. Five.
Roll a fucking 5. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, you actually made it. All right, so you're like, hey, we're here to help you, and then you kind of look down. You see, he's just dressed in what looks to be like a bathrobe, which is kind of weird at this time of day or whatever. And you're like,
Not really. It's
what the fuck
Seattle.
is this guy doing? I mean, okay, sure. But you look down and you see like there's something like that's just kind of like lurking just outside the view of like his face, just kind of like down near his midsection. And when you glance
The
at it,
gun?
you realize he's holding a sawed-off shotgun.
Okay, pointed at me.
Yeah, through the door. Roll
Okay.
dodge.
Shit. Oh man. Here we go. Yeah, that's an 85. I'm not gonna. I can't even flip that.
Oh, you can't flip it for 58?
Nope, my dodge is a 30.
Roll your luck. Roll your avatar.
That
This
I
is
can do.
exactly when, yeah, this is when things like this come into play, especially.
68. I failed that too. I'm gonna blow a reroll. Screw that.
You gonna roll reroll? Go for it.
I don't want to take a shotgun to
This
the
would be the
chest.
time. This would be the time to do it. Yeah, you don't want to get a shotgun to the chest.
49 out of 57, so we'll take it.
Woo! Oh boy. Yeah, you're just like, oh shit, and you move just in time, and there's a hole that explodes through the doorway, like the size of your torso. Just. Now we'll switch back to Corey and Lucius in the car in the plane. So, John's body was just taken over by Frank Gordon yet again, and he had told you that now you're going to pay the price for not having given him Gus's true name, and that Jackson was dead. Eventually, after a moment or so, while he's still in possession, he reaches into Sean's pocket, pulls out his phone, and puts the number in it. And then, as soon as he finishes that, he starts convulsing and Sean comes back. It's like, oh shit, sorry, I was trying to fight him off. It worked the first time, but not that time. What'd I miss?
He did something with your phone?
Looks down. He put in a number in my contacts? Oh, fuck that guy. Whatever.
Did he call it?
No. What would I need to talk to him for?
No, not him.
Are you okay?
I mean, I know I probably saw that before, but I wasn't me, so there's a lot to take in.
I'm still confused. I don't remember who you are again. People tell me I know you, and I believe them, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around this whole thing.
Well, so you don't remember when you... never mind. Yeah, we'll get through this together.
How do you respond, Jesse? Do you say anything to poor old Sean? Who has no idea what just happened.
I don't think I know this story, Lucius. What happened with the number in the phone?
I mean, usually when someone calls a number mysteriously like that, something blows up.
Gotcha. All right.
He
Yeah, don't
suspects
call that number.
sabotage. That makes sense for Lucius. I
What?
wasn't planning to. You see, Sean says like, It looks like Frank just really quickly like punched it in, called it for 2 seconds, and ended the call. So now it's in like the.
Oh, so he did call
Oh
it.
no!
So now Lucy's like, oh my god, what's happening? Unless he'd say or do anything else, he's just kind of like, that was freaky. I hate that shit. He's like, I felt weird being back in his body. Like it didn't. I don't know. Something was off about that whole thing. Something's changed. He says.
Lucius would attempt to grab the phone from him and attempt to open the door of this plane to throw it out, just completely unaware of how air pressure works.
You can open the window.
Open the window on these
You
planes?
open the window and throw out his plane? Are you gonna throw out
They're not at 30,000 feet, so.
No, yeah, you can open the window of a prop plane. Yeah.
Did you want to try to do that like stealthily, or did you just want to reach out, grab it,
reach out, grab it, throw it out the window? Not dealing with this.
He's like, hey, hold on a minute. What are you doing?
They're tracking the phone.
They're
tracking the phones.
Well, the 77, so that's a match failure for him.
Oh.
So he's not quick enough. After coming out of that whole experience, he's reflexes are not what they were. He needs to, he's still getting in sync with his own body again. You just take that opportunity to snatch the phone, toss it out the window, like, that was my phone. What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
They're tracking the phone.
Of course, people. I mean, duh. Yeah, people are on Facebook. Everybody knows where the hell they are. They're always checking in. What the fuck is? What's your point? Who's tracking our phone?
Frank.
How?
He called a number. I don't know, magic.
Yeah, I know. We know it's magic. It's called a proxy ritual. That's what Gus told us before. Were you not here for that?
No, I wasn't. That was another.
Then why does everybody keep telling me that you were? I don't. Because it was so confusing.
It wasn't this.
Anyway,
Lucius.
you owe me a phone, asshole. He says.
Yeah.
The rest of the flight is pretty quiet and uneventful, unless you do or say otherwise.
30 minutes later, just like, sorry about your phone.
Jesse
are you?
Jesse is hoping that it didn't kill somebody when it landed.
It probably fell in a lake somewhere or in a wooded area, like it's gone.
There was
forever.
one fisherman just on his boat. Now he's unconscious.
Yeah.
I just think it's like it's a family at a barbecue and the phone hits the barbecue and just. What?
It messed up someone's barbecue.
Nice.
Not the barbecue. That's sacred.
It crashes through the donut hole of the Large Marge Donut Barn sign.
Like, oh no, not again. Do you fly into Wyoming, or is the plan now, because of all the information that you've been receiving from Jace and Damien in Seattle, has the plan shifted to go to Seattle instead, or do you still plan on going to the compound in Wyoming to try to free Jackson? I mean, Sean is dead set on doing that, but you're the pilot, so and the co-pilot, I guess, respectively for Lucius. So you decide where this thing goes.
Well, I'll fill Sean in on the situation in Seattle that Gus is missing, and everything seems to be going to shit, and they could really use our help. And then he's gonna be like, "But Jackson," I'm gonna be like, "It might be too late for Jackson already. You have to admit this." And I'm gonna try to
he thinks about that one for a moment, and he's like, even if that's the case, I have to be sure. He's like, you two can go on to Seattle, meet up with Gus, find out what happened to him.
We're stopping in Wyoming for fuel either way.
They're perfect. Yeah, you can drop me off there. I can take care of myself. This guy's like, former military or whatever. Like, he's he's a hunter. Like he really can take care of himself, like in a wooded area or whatever. Which is where they're at.
I look at him and I say, "Wait a second. Can you take care of yourself? Remember."
He thinks about that for a moment.
Your split is here.
I can handle myself, he says. Whatever he is. Without any ado, you land in a small airport in Wyoming to refuel. He packs his bags and he's like, "All right, if you find Gus, tell him to hurry that shit up." And I would say to call me, he says, and looks at Lucius, if you have any other information, but can't really do that now, can you?
I grab another burner phone out of the cargo chunk in my backpack and toss it to him.
Okay. Yeah, you toss him something.
Because I bought like,
like
10 phones in like the second episode of this game. I was like, we're gonna need them.
We're gonna need a lot of burner phones. Give me all the SIM cards. Let's go.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So yeah, you toss him a burner phone, and he's like, "Thanks." And he's like, "I'll try to stay in touch." And he exchanges numbers with you. And when he grabs his gear, he grabs his weapons and stuff like that, his PepsiCo assault rifles and the devil and book bag and shit.
Brand rifle.
I was gonna say, somewhere in the back there's like a weapons locker that has a Pepsi logo on it.
Yes, old school
like a
Pepsi
crate,
logo. Yes.
Yeah, from like the 60s.
The red and the blue and the white background. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He grabs that and he looks over his shoulder before he exits the plane. He's like, "Try not to get yourselves killed, all right? I kind of like you bastards."
Same to you.
He nods and solemnly. He just kind of walks on his own out of there, and starts like looking for a way to get on the main highway to get to that national park on the north side of the state. You have a couple hours to kill before the plane is refueled and ready to go. Do you do anything while you're there? Nothing specific? Do you have any? I'm asking because Jesse's a mechanomancer, and I know he's always tooling around with stuff. So
yeah, I'm like thinking if there's anything I could build in the meantime that would be useful, but I might try to like play around with the drone, recreate one of those little like clockwork drones that got destroyed a couple episodes ago. Just a minor
like the
charge.
One that digs.
Yeah, just like something small, fly around, look around, and transmit the knowledge back.
Cool. Sounds like a neat idea. Yeah, you can like work on it if you put the plane in autopilot and just tinker with it. Cool. All right. So you start messing around with that for a little while. Back to Jace.
He dives off the porch and nearly gets caught in the shotgun blast.
Yeah. You see, as soon as the hole in the door opens up, like he's just like, "Oh shit!" Like you just sidestep, you turn and look and moved out of the way just in time. Otherwise, your midsection would be missing right now. And you hear like a clack, and you hear the two shells like falling out of the casing of the shotgun as two more are being loaded into it. What are you doing?
Great, glad to see you're on our side. And
Time to book it.
Peace be in the kingdom of God. And I run.
You run. Are you running out to the street or anywhere?
I run out to the street
car?
and away past the car because I don't want them to drag attention to them.
They heard the gunshot. They heard the boom, boom, and
As I run past the car with our quote unquote allies, I just say he's not in a good mood, and I just keep going because I don't want to drag them. I don't want to drag them into too much attention. So I will vacate the neighborhood as fast as I can. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the Occultus Familia Adepts are already down the street, and now your car is peeling back to get in front of the house, like smoking tires and all. And you see Ella's like, "I'll take care of him, honey." And like she points her finger at William Barclay with a sawed-off shotgun in the bathrobe, and she's like, "Go to sleep." You hear like her voice like carrying in the winds of of autumn as the leaves are starting to move around. You hear like her voice like moving past you and like going to him, and you see he's just completely unaffected by it. He just has this like dead-eyed stare as he's reloading the shotgun and like pushing the door open to get a bead on you and blast you again.
What door?
She's just like, yeah, whatever's left of the door. Yeah, you see, she's just kind of like, it didn't work. And you see, Eustace is like, Sophia, and he points his finger at William Barclay. Another shot goes off. He kind of jerks like this, keeps moving. You're running to get like jump into the car.
Yeah.
Okay. He's just like, well, we're out. We're done here, he says, and Eustace like whips up a small spell, blasts him. Nothing happens. You see, like his skin breaks out in like these little sigils. Doesn't seem to be affected by it at all. You jump in, just as Ella opens up the door for you. You hop in, and he hits the gas. Tires start peeling out, and you start like flying down the street. Just as he takes aim and fires one last time, boom, boom, blasts out the back windshield of the car. Psh, shit! His body jerks a couple times as Sophia like empties the rest of her clip, and then he looks up right at her, and she's like, and you see like Eustace is like, I think she's leaving now. I'm gonna circle around, pick her back up. You see,
good
just
call.
like
I look at my shredded clothes and nothing, not injured. Pick the buckshot of it, put it in my pocket.
As he's doing so, however, there's the car that was up ahead of you stops, and the three adepts get out of the car. What do you want to do? You see, he's like, hold on to your ass, he says.
How much I can do? I have a pistol.
You do.
I'll provide covering fire as much as I possibly can. I'm not very well trained at guns, but usually, pointing and shooting never hurts.
Sure. You see, one of the adepts is very obviously like an epidomancer, one of those flesh mages. He appears to be the driver. He's like this completely. He's got piercings and he's completely bald, hairless, and he's this big fucker like standing in the middle of the road, just like looking at the car. They're all armed with like small arms fire, like submachine guns and shit like that. And you realize now you're kind of trapped between whatever the fuck that was back there and these three adepts that are right in front of you. You want to lean out and take a shot at one?
Whatever covering fire I can do, I'm going to put into the. Is their car moving, or they're all out of the car? I missed that.
They're out of the car. Yeah, they're blockading the end of the street.
I'll just put the gun out the window and provide covering fire as apparently we're charging them with the vehicle. So, and then you get them to move.
Okay, so you lean out, take a shot. Go ahead and roll firearms.
Oh, well. Yeah, no, that's not going to be very good.
You can take a shift, by the way. This is where you add 10, 20, or 30% to your skill, but they in turn also get to hit you with a bonus equal to what you took to hit them. So it's a risk.
Yeah, Jace is not in the. Well, I have to trust on my luck to make sure that hit actually just bounces to somebody else, but it could kill someone else in the car, and I don't want that. So
one good shot, you might be able to take one of them out.
Yeah. When we're rolling in firearms, what's that under?
It's if you don't have firearms or something that substitutes for firearms, you basically roll struggle. And yeah, it's basically going to be the equivalent of suppressive fire for the most part.
I can use irritable to sub for struggle.
Irritable?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay.
Tons of bitches.
Excellent.
So what is irritable sub for that? That's a 41. So we'll go and see if that pans out.
Okay, cool. Do you want to take a shift to that, like by 10, 20, or 30%?
You know what? Let's take a shift. Let's do 20%. Let's do additional 20%. Let's see if it pays off.
So you're at 60 something. Go ahead and roll.
61% chance. A 45. That would actually would be me if I hadn't taken the shift. So that worked out.
Wow. Okay. So you took a 20% shift.
20% shift. So yeah.
Ooh, okay. All right. So let's see. If you succeeded, the opponents find it hard to close in on the attackers. They get out from cover to attack or remain standing if they're out in the open. They have to make a violence check to try. I'm gonna say one of them hasn't killed anybody yet, so he has to make it. And he made the violence check, so he's staying still. But the other ones are just like, whatever, we're being shot at, and like one of them like ducks to get to cover behind the car. The other one scrambles out from the middle of the road and like gets behind like a parked car on the side of the road, and then they bring out their Uzis to bear and shit, like their machine guns or their pistols to fire at on your position. That's when Eustace hits the gas. He's like, "Here we go, assholes!" Cooks up a spell. Okay, so he drives like straight into he drives straight into the car, like without any seatbelts or anything like that, and he just floors it. And he basically hits the steering column. Everybody kind of surges forward, takes some damage actually. He's getting charged up at the moment.
Ah, okay. Well, I hope that works out for all him.
Yeah, here's hoping. Let's see. Okay. Hurts like a motherfucker. You get thrown into the front of the car, but you're just like, you're keeping it together. And when he hits the car, it looks like they didn't put it. He adjusts reality to make it so that they didn't leave it in park. So when he hits the car, it goes flying out of the way. Like it just starts rolling forward and crashes through a fence somewhere and hits another car. And that car's alarm starts going off. Woo, woo, woo. People start looking to see what's going on. And that's when he gets the opportunity to just keep running. Like basically keep driving the car out and around the side of the neighborhood.
Oh man,
Ella
Damien
will
wishes
take
he
a
was here.
shot. Yeah, Damien could have gotten so many charges in this. He's gonna flip it. 47. One of the ones that looks to try to target you in retaliation just goes straight comatose, like and just falls flat on their face. Blah! Blood running down their face. Excellent. With a 47. That'll take him out. All right. And let's see. Sophia's moving. Eustace went. Now the other two get to go. One of them takes a shot at Eustace and misses horribly with a 95. So there's like a spattering of fire. It's like, bah, 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 and like the front windows get spiderwebbed with bullets. Da, 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 and one of them busts open, but they clearly miss Eustace as he's zipping by. The other one tries to use magic on one of you. Shit. Okay. Second. So far. Oof. The Epiteromancer, as you're trying to like pull yourself back in, he runs up to the car and like tries to grab a hold of you. Give me a struggle roll, please.
Okie dokie, here we go.
This may hurt.
That's okay. Attacks are okay. I mean, that's fine. We'll just make that handle. I'm gonna flip that to 62 to 26, so I make it.
26? Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tries to like grab a hold of you, and you can feel like his fingers like trying to dig into your skin, like to basically punch, like just basically push his fingers into your flesh, like they're made out of Play-Doh. And you're just like, oh shit! Like you kind of like grab his hands, and you see like the flesh around his bones starts rippling, like changing. You're like, and you just kind of push him away. And just his arm like hooks the inside of the back window, and Eustace turns at the same time, so he just gets bumped off. And he kind of falls by the wayside, and he kind of yells something in another language to the other two adepts. One of them is like face down, snoring into his blood. All right, welcome, John. Welcome to the mayhem. We're just finishing up this little combat scene here with some of the team.
Oh look, Jace got into combat. We are all shocked.
He whips around, and you see Sophia's like hoofing it to get to the back of the car. Jumps in and makes this gesture like, "Let's go." He immediately takes off down the road, and you see she's speaking in sign language to Eustace, who looks into the rear view and is like, "That wasn't William Barclay, whatever that was." Last time we checked,
I'll buy that for $1.
Nice. All right.
I do have all the buckshot he has, though. It's all right here in my jacket. Hold on a second. Let me use that for something. Clatter.
He's like, and he's like, and that's why we were hesitant to move on Barkley these last few months. We knew that the occultist familiar were watching. We didn't know to what extent that was. At least now we know what we're dealing with, he says. Time for plan B.
Time for plan, yeah. Time for plan B for sure.
You move away and you get a call from Damien. He's like, hey, I'm ready for pickup. I'm at so-and-so place.
Oh man, did you miss the fun? Be there in a minute.
All right, so you give Eustace the direction. He's
You
like,
can be so sad to see that car went, what did I miss?
Total fucking mayhem. And he's like, well, that was a bit of a bust, but I've got some mojo back. I might be able to turn this back around, he says. Hopefully, so does your friend. Pulls up, get in Damien. He's like, what'd I miss? We'll shift it back to...
As the car is shredded with bullet holes and there's buckshot all over the inside of the car. Jace's shirt and jacket are shredded from the buckshot blast at point blank range.
Yeah.
Can I retcon something when we dropped off Sean?
Sure.
I'm gonna leave the treant with Sean.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So to catch you up on what happened, John, in the last session, your Frank Gordon took control of your body, and he told these two that Jackson was dead. But when you were in the other body at the same time, it felt a little weird. It felt different than before. You weren't sure what had changed exactly. Do you remember Angela Forsyth at the Snake Pit, the leader of one of the leaders of the Sleepers, was telling you that something had changed with the proxy. You're not exactly sure what. They're not exactly sure what it is exactly, but there it is. And you somehow felt it as well. When you got back into your body, though, you don't know what happened. So you were like, what did I miss? And they were like, he took control of you and you put a number in your phone. And when you looked at your phone, you saw that he had called this number. And he had basically he had called it for 2 seconds, canceled the call. And then he leapt back out of your body and back into his, presumably. So you don't know what that was about. And Lucius was like, oh, these must be using it to track us. So he grabbed the phone before you can, arrive at your senses. And he threw your phone out the fucking window at like 9,000 feet or whatever in the air. And you were like, what the fuck, mate? Until eventually you landed in an airport in Wyoming. And you had this discussion with them like, hey, things are changing in Seattle. Gus is SOL. We don't know what happened to him, and these guys are in trouble. We need to go help them. And you were like, well, I need to go look for my son. End of story. And then we're like, okay, we're going to go do that. If you want to stay and go look for your son, we understand. And Jesse's retconning that, or Corey is retconning that Jesse left the treant in your care, as Sean would, I would imagine, go out to the compound to go see if his son is still alive or not. Because he did, although you don't know that Frank Gordon said your son was dead. Jesse's like, your son might not be alive. And I just kind of played it as Sean is like, I need to be sure, And they're like, hey, do you think you can handle yourself? Yeah, he's like, do you think you can handle what's going on over there? And do you think you can handle your split? And I kind of felt that like Sean would be the kind of person to say, I can handle myself, literally.
Be all right. Oh, God.
So I took it to that he was going to grab his stash of weapons from the back of the plane and go solo into the woods to the north of the state to find a compound.
Ballsy, I like it.
You can undo any or all of that if you wish, if you want to go with the rest of these guys to Seattle, or if any of the plans want to change at this point, you can absolutely do that. You don't have to.
Oh no. No. This is gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. What, you're gonna attempt to solo the Global Liberation Society? Okay.
Not so many words. Sure, yeah.
Cool.
I mean, my objective is to get Jackson out. It's not necessarily to kill them all. Maybe that's easier. Maybe it's harder. Who knows?
So you've got this thing like crawling behind you through the woods, like it's maybe like 10 miles north or whatever. So you got some hiking to do for a couple hours before you finally get to where their encampment is located.
And Jesse gave you a replacement burner phone too.
Yes. So that way you have a way of calling them and receiving messages.
And you're telling me that he dialed the number in my phone. I really want to try and remember that number, but that's not for right now. How would he handle it? Well, he's got some grenades.
Yeah, I said that you still have your PepsiCo weapons stashed from before, so you have whatever small arsenal you had from that little escapade.
He's got a few grenades, so he would walk around the complex maybe once or twice looking for some guards.
Okay.
Obviously, there should be guards there.
Oh yeah, give me notice rolls. One specifically, just one notice roll.
One notice roll. If anybody wants to do that for me real quick, that'd be great. My computer's internet's not liking me right now.
Mike rolled
sorry,
85.
Sorry, man.
I have a
You can
reroll.
flip
I'll
that.
use it.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna
actually,
say
no.
you
I'll
could
just use
your passions
Hunter.
or your
Yeah.
obsession.
Yeah, I'll just use Hunter. I'm literally hunting these people. Sounds like an apt use.
Are you using like an obsession, or are you using like one of your passions to flip flop the roll?
I'll use my obsession, which is Jackson.
Yeah, okay. That works. So yeah, you're like, under normal circumstances, you would not have seen this guy who's hiding like more than halfway up the tree in full camo, face paint, and with a backpack and like ammo and a hunter's rifle with a scope. This guy has a harness wrapped around the tree itself, and he's just like looking with binoculars and shit. That's what you're up against. You catch one of these guys on the perimeter just like looking out. It's starting to get dark outside, so he's actually has like IR, like night vision goggles, like toggled on, that he can look out into the clearing or into the thicket of woods and see anything moving around on two or more legs.
So I have a question.
Hasn't noticed you yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to really make this up because I want to be prepared, but at the same time, like I really want this to happen.
Okay.
So he has what he has on him is a couple grenades, actually like 2 AKs, and then some pistols.
Okay.
The question being, then at that
one
point,
AK.
would he have?
You have one AK and
one AK?
several like small arms pistols and some grenades.
What I want to have happen, and I don't have high hopes for this. Passing the DM, can I do stuff check? But what I want to have happen is I want to have aluminum powder and rust.
Aluminum powder dust?
And rust.
What does that do?
It's thermite.
Oh, you want to burn some shit? Okay, got it.
Well, not in the way you're thinking.
Not you do have a flamethrower robot that probably has
also
those things.
Okay, I will look in the back and see if it has those things.
It does have the high temp mode from the crit the other day.
Well, okay, so
there's some
I'll
sort
just tell
of
you what I'm
high
thinking.
temp fuel in there. Yeah.
Very specifically, what he wants to do is, if he can, place the grenades on the backside of one of the trees where these people are. Like, I'm assuming I got close enough to see them, but they didn't see me just yet. So
Yeah,
he
I'm
wants to
seeing you.
place the grenades on the backside of the tree just as it's getting dark to make sure that their goggles are on, their infrareds are on.
Okay.
And then he is going to pull the pins on those and have some thermite taped to about head height
Mm-hmm.
in like 5 or 10 feet away, taped to a tree, and then have that on like a short fuse so that when the grenades go off and the person actually falls from the tree, hopefully killing them, the thermite a few seconds later will also go off, and the people with night vision goggles, when they look over, they see the thermite and they're blinded by it.
It catches everybody completely by surprise. Yeah, you incinerate the one guy, and then it creates this torch that kind of blinds everybody temporarily. Sure.
And then
I will need you to make a stealth check and a hunter check. Or I guess that would equate to 2 hunter checks potentially for you.
Okay. God, this is gonna go so well.
You need to roll higher than a 15 if you succeed.
Higher than a 15, but lower than my check.
Yes.
All right, let's do that. I don't have really any 60s left, so we'll just roll. 43.
Fucking A, okay. I rolled a 43 too. Nice. Okay. Cool. So you rig these thermite explosives around the base of the tree, and you're literally right underneath this guy's nose, and he doesn't realize it. And you set it up in such a way, and you slink away, and you see that further ahead, several yards ahead, is the compound. It's just chain link fence around a couple of structures that are kind of thrown together. Very bunker like. There's one like big concrete bunker that goes underground, you know. The entrance to which is pretty wide, and you have several people coming in and out constantly. That's pretty much it. There's a bunch of people milling around. There's a couple dogs on leashes and stuff. No sign of Jackson, especially not at this dark this time of night or anything like that. But there, you know, several pickup trucks and cars, you know, here as part of the deep into this park. And you set off the explosive, and so you wire it up, and you kind of like elbows and knees your way over there. You get underneath, you get behind the tree a little bit of ways. You pull it, and there's like a big flash. The whole tree goes up like a torch. The guy just screams as he's basically incinerated by this shit. Eventually, like everybody back at the camp sees what's going on, and all eyes. You see some people starting to move out with weapons drawn, like to investigate what's going on. What is this next action you're taking?
They're distracted, so I'm just gonna take a stealth roll into the base. If I
Okay.
can.
Give me another. Yeah. What'd you get?
Oh, I'm gonna use a reroll.
Okay.
That's
That
not
badly.
good. 97.
97. Yeah, that's not the best.
I'm going to use my obsession and
get?
hunter to get a 27, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Again, under normal circumstances, you know, that guy on the tree would have seen you like coming, and he would have picked you off at 30 paces or whatever. And then in the normal circumstances, you would have tried to sneak by somebody that would have been, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing here?" Blam, just blasted you. But you time it just right as they're leaving. You're like using your training to like scale the fence quickly, drop down, and move towards the nearest pickup truck. Put your back to it. ready your weapon, and you look, and as they're like clearing out, you're moving in. You're slinking around the back end. Are you trying to make your way to like the bunker side of it, or some of the other buildings that make up the compound?
My intuition is the bunker.
The bunker. All right, going into the lion's den. All right. You see, as you slink up to there, you see that the guards that are normally posted there are off, and they're basically taking point at the entryway where the cars typically drive into the compound near the front of the chain link fence. So you take that opportunity, you look, and you see the door to the bunker is wide open. So you make your way inside?
Yeah, as stealthy as one person can be. If I can, once I'm inside, I would like to find a person about my build and just like, do that Looney Tunes thing where he just knocks him out, takes his clothes.
Okay, this is one final stealth check. Everybody's on alert now. Jesus Christ, I rolled terrible.
Can't be any worse than mine. No, mine's a 14.
Oh yeah, you got it. All right, so you catch one guy. There's music blaring from the inside of the bunker as you get deeper in. There's this country music or something like blaring. You remember this music from when you were trapped down here initially.
Shit.
You go into.
Fuck, he's here. Oh.
The stairs that go down into the bowels of this bunker. You hear the music coming from there. Some Johnny Cash song or something. And then eventually, as you get towards the end of the corridor, there's a series of doors, big metal doors with locks on them all the way down. This is exactly where you were initially. The guard that's here is just kind of like, has one of the doors open. And you see like he's mopping blood or something off the floor. He doesn't see you or hear you. So you have the perfect opportunity to come up behind him and just kind of like, put him in a sleeper hold or whatever. Give me a struggle roll.
Will this be violence? Oh no, it's actually struggle. I see it. Never mind.
Struggle. And I think you have at least 4 in violence. I could be wrong on that.
I gotta reroll this. That one.
Oh shit.
7.
There we go.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Burning
you got
through
him.
the rerolls.
That's why you saved it.
Yeah, you grab this guy from behind and you pull him in, and he's strong. He tries to struggle back, but eventually you just kind of grab him and you put him to sleep, and he's just like,
Go sleep.
You see his walkie-talkie that he has clipped on his bulletproof vest is like squawking, and it's like, oh shit, we got activity out here. So, it's just, this guy went up like a matchstick. What the fuck happened out here? His America First hat falls off as you drag him to the floor, and then something catches your eye. He's mopping the floor because there's a body inside that room. It's the same room that you were locked in before initially when you inhabited your father's body.
I'll take a look.
Take a look. There's other stuff that's here that looks a little odd. You notice something immediately as soon as you walk in. You find William's watch on the floor of the... Actually, you find the watch on the guard's wrist. It's very unique because... Actually, it wouldn't be that kind of a watch. You find his timepiece. Whatever it was like back in the day, like those old like stopwatches or whatever, those on a chain.
Pocket watch?
The pocket watch, an old pocket watch, kind of slips out of his pocket, and you notice like this is William's watch clock thing, like his stopwatch, because he's from that era. What the fuck is this doing here? When you take the body is covered in some sort of a sheet. When you pull the sheet off, you expect to see William lying there dead. It's not, though. It's Frank Gordon. He's dead. Now we'll switch back to the rest of you boys. Jesse and Lucius. All right. Let's see here. So, you have... I'm assuming that you don't... Well, Jesse doesn't need to sleep, not really. So I would imagine Lucius takes a nap on board the plane, and Jesse just flies the rest of the way to Seattle nonstop after the plane's been refueled. Is there anything specific that you do during the plane flight? It's going to take a couple hours at least.
Lucius would be taking a sketch pad and trying to jot down all the things that he was doing before he disappeared. Just
Taking notes.
taking notes of
Catching up.
both, like what he did, right? Like the town that had those constructs in it, things like that. Just journaling. And then trying to figure out that whole thing with annihilomancy and trying to find a way around it.
Oh, are
again.
you actively trying to learn annihilomancy, or
Like, he's trying. Lucius knows that he remembers that one of the reasons why other Lucius disappeared was because of annihilomancy and all this. So he's just jotting everything down.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
You're actively trying to learn what happened and trying to understand annihilomancy in preparation for this conflict that is coming.
Yeah.
Jesse, anything you do while you're on autopilot, so to speak?
No, I don't think so. At one point, I imagine I'd probably say something to Lucius along the lines of, it seems like if you attempt to disbelieve something that has more belief than yourself, it might backfire on you. I would not suggest that again. I've been thinking about a long time why you disappeared back on that beach. More people believed in her than you.
I don't know about that. I think it's because you tried disbelieving my punch, but that's fine.
I feel it might go deeper than that. And Lucius puts down the notepad, the pencil.
You put down like believe is power or something like that?
Like, he puts it down for a moment. Takes a deep breath in. I believed that either she was gonna disappear or I'm mad.
That's right.
Maybe it was because she believed harder than me. Maybe it's because I disbelieved myself.
Mm.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it.
Excellent. All right. So it's going to be a long night flying into Seattle. But by the time you get there, I'm going to say it's probably morning the next day. We'll kind of continue with the rest of the crew in Seattle. But now it's just as good a time as any. Now that we found out that Frank Gordon is actually dead, that's probably a good enough time to go on break.
Oh,
And we'll be back after about 10 minutes or so. It's 5:40 Eastern time. Smoking with you got him. right, welcome back, everybody. We have returned. We're going to meet back up with our peeps in Seattle now, as they just finished getting into a pretty significant gun battle with some of the Occultist Familia adepts. Found out that William Barkley may or may not be human, at least the one that they encountered anyhow. And everything's SOL at the moment. So, JSU and Damien are in the car with the rest of these adepts, and it's like, yeah, that just happened.
Maybe we should go with the softer angle and talk to what's her name?
Evelyn? Eve?
Eve.
Your guess is as good as mine. You used to say. Perhaps if we use our abilities together, he says, and he looks over at Damien, and he's like, okay, I got some mojo to throw around. What do you propose? Maybe we can find her name in a phone book somewhere. Maybe at least a starting point. He's like, yeah, I can do that. Easily makes it with a 47. And he's just like, over there. And he goes up. There's no such thing as a yellow pages or anything. There are no phone books, phone booths or anything like that anymore. So he just like, he pulls off to the side of the road and he takes out his phone. And he starts like, calling 4011, just a random series of numbers. He seems like he's doing it randomly. It's like he hangs up the phone. Eustace looks at him. It's like, "What'd you get?" I got there's a I don't know, James Woods High School in Redmond or something. Like that's the first thing I got. Huh. I got something different. You see, Eustace offers. It's like initially when I was looking for Evelyn or Eve, I got a rundown neighborhood, some backwater neighborhood out in Pile Up Barrens, and he's just like, okay. So she goes to school in Redmond. If we have a name for the school, maybe we can check that out. I mean, there's probably several Evelyns, but I'm sure we can narrow it down to one or two, couldn't we? And you see Eustace is like, I think we can. And then you see Damien's like, yeah, actually, let's start there. If class isn't, actually it's nighttime, so it's like,
can I suggest?
You might want to start at the apartment building, perhaps.
Since school isn't in session, I have an idea. You mentioned that anytime that Wizzy would post a tag, she posts a counter tag. What better way to draw her out? Let's just go ask where let's go spray paint on the wall and ask if we can meet to parlay.
That's not a bad idea. You see, Damien says, let's do that. You see, Eustace is like, I think I know a spot or two. And he drives out to like this waterfront area, and there's like a pretty significant looking tunnel that also acts like a sort of like an overpass. Lots of joggers and people go through here, but it's in a bad part of town, so he kind of rolls up slowly, and you see like the whole place is tagged with old graffiti, faded pictures and mosaics and stuff. Very stylized look, and there have been attempts, you can tell by the local city or some of the people who live nearby in the better neighborhoods, quote unquote, that have attempted to try to like wash out all the artwork that adorns the walls and the different sizes of the buildings and stuff like that. But even still, like people go back out there and they tag. So as you drive up, he does so cautiously, and across the way, he maybe hangs back a couple yards, and you see that there's already somebody there at night underneath the glim, this faint glimmer of lamplight. Somebody's kind of like in a hoodie, and he kind of walks up and sets down a book bag up against the wall inside this large tunnel, and they start getting to work. Which one of you wants to make contact?
Probably should be me, since
all right. You see, Eustace is like, by all means.
I just get out of the car because I know it has to be me.
Mm-hmm. And you see, Sophia gets out. She leaves the sniper rifle in the car. She just kind of brings like what appears to be a small submachine gun, like on a sling. and she like packs it into, or she just wears it out, like she just hangs it from her body, and just kind of crosses her arms the whole time, and leans up against the wall quietly while
And
you
I'm
do the
glad she's hanging
talking.
around.
You see it's one guy and like two other girls that are there, and they're working on a piece together. It looks like they have a several book bags worth of like spray paint and stuff like that, and they're working on
They
it.
were
And
working on it for a
soon as you
while,
start
or-
to, it looks like they're there for at least they're trying to do it quickly, because there's a light nearby, so every once in a while cars' headlights will come in and flood the area, so they have to like disperse a little bit. It's really late at night though, and it's like hardly anybody's here, so this is why they're taking the opportunity to do it. But yeah, you could see why they might be alert. Like you see a cop car passing by every once in a while. So you pull up and he turns off the lights. You get out of the car. They're gonna. Are you approaching quietly, or are you like, hey?
I walk up. I don't make any noise because I don't want to
Mhm.
scare the hell out of them. I don't want them to be. I don't freak out. I want to see what they're doing exactly, and if any of them kind of fits the description of who Evelyn or Eve is supposed to be.
Roll stealth or its equivalent, or secret if you don't have a stealth equivalent substitute. You need to roll higher than a 5.
Okay. Well, I got a 30% chance. We'll see how well this pans out. When I say how well, I mean not at all. A 14. Well, there you go.
Hey, nice. So you don't make a peep. Sophia's quiet as death. She just follows your lead, and they don't hear either one of you. So by the time you kind of get up behind them, and you're like, "Hey," and like, "What the fuck? Oh shit!"
Hey, I don't want to bother you, but we're looking to talk to Eve.
You look at each other. Eve 62.
Yeah.
Who's asking?
You can call me J Fool.
She's trying to. Oh, Eve. Eve keeps a low profile, you know.
I know, and I don't blame her. She's doing a lot of good work. We appreciate what she's doing, but we need her help.
Roll connect.
Hey, something I'm good at.
Yeah.
Made it 41. So perfect.
He hears what you're saying, and normally he would just discount it as like, some rando or whatever. But he seems to trust you despite not knowing anything about you. You come across pretty genuinely, and they're like, any friends of Eve's are a friend of mine. If you want to help her, like, that's fine. And it's like, you're looking for Eve, you're gonna have to go to Woods High School. So that's where she hangs out.
That's what we thought, but I thought we'd see if we can get her attention by tagging first. If that would be the better way to do it. If you think we should go there to talk to her, then I'll take your word for it.
Shit, if you want to get her attention, he points there's like a large building that has like a it's not the Space Needle or something like that, but it's something similar. It's supposed to be like a fancy like needle point restaurant or whatever. It's like if you want to get her attention, go over there and tag that place with Wizzy's name on it. She'll find it. She'll find you. She'll find you pretty quick.
All right, that sounds like fun. You guys do good work. Keep it up.
Yeah, just just be looking out, because they don't like us. They don't want us out here, and they kind of like motion. You see, like there's a cop car just passing by slowly, looking, but they're not seeing anybody like in the deep recesses of the tunnel.
And then be safe.
Yeah, we're trying.
Then we'll go back to the car. Obviously, it worked. Well, okay.
You see, Sophia is just kind of like, huh. Raises her eyebrows, walks back with you to the car. You see Damien's like, all right, what do we got?
Oh, I need a can of spray paint. We're gonna go tag that building right over there.
He's like, he goes to say something, and then he's like, never mind. Okay, yeah, sure.
No. What is it? What is it?
That's what. Okay, so we're trying to bring her out.
Well, better to get her attention. They confirmed that she hangs around Jane's Woods, which is good. So, but I think it's better if we get her attention this way.
if we're gonna do that, you see, he says we need to make sure that we block off any exit, any opportunity of escape, because their Bandomancers are very slippery in their turf.
That's why we don't want to threaten her. We want to talk.
You see, Eustace is like, I approve of this plan. And he's like,
because the more
he
guns
takes you
point
down
her,
to
the worse
he
it's
takes you
gonna
down to like the local hardware store or whatever. He's just like, what are the odds that this security system is already out of date? What would you say? And you
I'd
see
say it's
Damon's
pretty
like,
good.
probably odds are pretty good, yeah. And he gets out and he kind of taps on the door that says, this is, monitored by Stetson Security. And he just kind of like picks the lock, opens it. There are no lights, there's no blaring alarms or anything like that. He's just like, entrez-vous. Sophia just kind of stands watch at guard. Ella just kind of goes up the aisle. Oh, I need some of this, and like starts pulling stuff off the shelf, and like goes, that'll keep me awake. Starts putting. She goes shopping while you all are like locating the spray paint supplies
nice
that you need.
Dayglow green and orange spray paint.
Yeah,
like
there you go.
Hideous stuff that would offend her almost.
Yeah. You go for that, and you stash a bunch of stuff in a basket, and you head out before somebody catches on that this place is being robbed. Get in the car, drive out to this point. Do you want to spring your little trap tonight, or do you want to wait until the next
Might as well
day?
do it now while we have time.
Sure.
I mean,
all right. You go out there and you start like spray painting Wizzy.
I'll spray paint Wizzy's name. I'll make sure I'll sign it with J Fool after that.
Nice.
And beneath that, I'll actually write out. I'll actually write out parlay.
Parlay. Okay. Interesting. You do that, and you see these guys are supervising what you're doing. Like, hey, it looks pretty good. You see Eustace is like since you're doing it like on the side of the building or whatever. He takes precautions and he's like, let's watch for cameras and stuff like that. We don't want anybody seeing what we're doing and stuff. So he takes like the
spray paint the cameras while you're at it.
Spray paint and just goes and spray paints the cameras and stuff. Sophia gestures and suggests that each of you take positions around the area. So that way if she goes this way, there's somebody there. And if she goes this way, there's somebody there, and so on and so forth. I'm assuming that you're going to be at ground zero, so to speak, Jace.
That's exactly right. Maybe it's a big target.
Okay, fair enough. You see, eventually, it takes some time. Like, you're there for hours, well into the morning hours, until eventually somebody, you're just kind of there by yourself. Everybody's kind of spread out, Damien included. And then eventually somebody comes along, and you see it's like a 5'0", short young lady, probably in her late teens, book bag, hoodie, and baggy clothes, and she's just kind of looking around like this, and eventually she sees you there, and she kind of stops in her tracks and just stares at you for a second. You're not Wizzy.
Nope. I want to help you solve this problem, though.
The hell are you exactly? She says.
My name's Jace.
Should I know you?
No, you shouldn't. We had an encounter with Wizzy earlier yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of understand what's going on in the city right now, what you're trying to do, and I appreciate you slowing him down. He's working for some very bad people.
I know he is. How do I know you're telling the truth? We'll connect.
Oh crap! I'm out of rerolls. I rolled a 99.
That's failure.
I'm out of rerolls.
Oh boy! You see, she's like, "I don't know you from a fucking hole in the wall." Bye. She starts turning around to leave, and that's when Eustace is like, "Now hold on a minute, young lady. I think we should stick around. Perhaps we have some suggestions, perhaps some ways that we can assist." And before the rest of the words come out of his mouth, she makes a motion like this with her hand and starts running like towards the alleyway. And he's like, wait. And all of a sudden, the top part of the building that is composed of bricks start to fall on top of him. the city strikes back. He is not quick enough to get out of the way, so he's like, what the? Oh, fuck! He just gets buried in bricks. It's like, oh, shit. Sophia starts running. Damien starts running, and he's like, God damn it! Cut back to these guys. You're arriving in Seattle, Lucius and Jesse. Lucius, you wake up from a very long nap as the plane touches down. And you start going through your procedure, winding down the flight. It's going to take a couple more hours probably for this to get refueled to be ready again. What do you do now that you've landed? Very early in the morning.
Go rent a car.
All right. There's a
Maybe
hearse
check
across the street.
Yeah.
Pick up a large car, or
We're always with
45?
we need SUVs everywhere we go, so I'll just get an
Pretty
SUV.
much. Sure. Get a pretty big car. Let's see.
I make sure to get the insurance plan.
The biggest thing that they can offer you at this point is a Jeep.
Sure.
All right. So you get a Jeep. You put your stuff into the back.
We got
Lucius,
a lot
you're
of
kind
gear.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff. But yeah, you go ahead and you pack up the Jeep and you get it ready. I forgot the tree ant was with Sean. For some reason, I keep linking it to you. But what do you do once you pack up the Jeep? Do you call anybody, or what are you doing exactly?
I'm trying to get a hold of Jace to see where they are, where we are, like in Seattle. Where are you?
I'm gonna say this is happening around the same time. So yeah. You see these guys running off behind Eve, and your phone ringing. It's like, God damn it, what the hell is it now?
Yeah, so
It's Jesse.
phone open. Kind of in the middle of something.
Well, we're here.
We're at this restaurant.
All right.
Look for
See
all
you
the
there.
commotion.
Look for the chaos. You're bound to find us somehow.
I'd say we're
It's
probably
gonna take
still
at
like
least 30 minutes or so to get there.
yeah, nowhere near close to downtown Seattle.
Mhm.
Landing a plane.
Tac,
Right. No. It's probably an
So
even
you,
smaller airport outside of Seattle.
It's probably one of those, one of those small little tiny airports. So yeah, you pack up your stuff. It's going to be a good 30 minutes or so until you get to where these guys are at. By that time, Evelyn's already given these guys the slip, so they come, unless you want to join the chase and potentially get buried by bricks or fall into a manhole cover somewhere.
Nope.
You see, eventually they come back. Ella was digging Eustace out of the bricks that fell on top of him. He's just like, what the hell hit me? Looks like you got hit by a ton of bricks, sweetheart. Jesus.
No.
And you see, she's like, Sophia and Damien come back, and it's like, well, that sucked. She fucking disappeared on us. And just to kind of give you an idea, like they can literally blend in with the rest of the city, so they can like chameleon style, like go up against the building and they just whoop, disappear.
That's what Jason's thinking right now. So it's look. Maybe we got this wrong. I don't know. I mean, she's also a teenager. She's not gonna trust people. I don't blame her. I wouldn't trust us either. She's seen the shit that Woodsy's dealing with, so she's worried too. Fair.
We have to take another tact.
Hopefully, she's a sorcerer of the city, so she can live, eat, breathe, sleep, crap, whatever going on. She can probably hear what we're talking about right now. If you're listening, Eve, follow us, listen to us. You'll see what's going on. But we need your help, and we want to help you.
Where do you go? You told do you stick around and wait for these guys to show up from the airport?
I'm gonna find an empty diner and then send them an address to meet us at there.
Sure. There's a late night 24-hour diner off the side of the road.
Got to be one somewhere.
Pancakes and cigarettes all the way. So you
Damn
go
right.
in and order some waffles and stuff.
There's a Waffle House somewhere. I mean, it's not really a Waffle
Always.
House. It's not a Waffle House. It's a Denny's.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you find a little hole in the wall place. You order some food and coffee. Ella appreciates it. Her hands are shaking. Her eyes are like, her lids are getting thicker. Eyes
We're all
are
exhausted
red.
and spent. So
See, eventually these guys arrive in their jeep, and this guy flags them down.
as before they get there, I'm gonna order a couple sets of hotcakes and take them out to the homeless people who are outside, because there are always homeless people in Seattle.
Yes.
And they're part of the urban landscape, and they're probably important to her. So I'm gonna feed them.
Give me a connect roll, please, with a bonus this time. Whether you're doing it knowingly or unknowingly, you're actually hitting a lot of interesting buttons here for
27. That's definitely my connect
Panomancer.
roll.
Excellent. Okay.
27.
Very good. Okay. So you do that, and they're like, "Oh, thanks." You know.
No worries.
come
guys.
back
Take
and-
care of yourselves.
Yeah, you see
If I have cash, I'll hand it out. Whatever I can.
they appreciate it. Jesse and Lucius come in on the jeep. Eustace flags them down to the diner, and that you all sort of disembark, and you get the whiff of food coming from inside, and Lucius, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember what that was like.
I haven't eaten.
You haven't eaten in almost 24 hours. You've just been living off of
It's
Snack
Protein
bar,
bars. Yeah.
right?
yeah, protein bars.
Ugh.
Exactly. So yeah, he gives you some time to just sit down and eat.
Boy, am I
Eventually
glad to
the-
see you guys.
Yeah, you notice Sean's not with them.
First question of where's Sean? Or do I not want to know?
Sean had to know.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You see, Damien says, "So we're down Sean and Gus now. This is not good."
I wouldn't say we're down Sean. Sean can take care of himself. That was pretty obvious.
We had an interesting meeting.
Well, you see, Damien's like,
I'll raise my
Elaborate.
finger.
"Oh, that's not
Good.
good."
They
Is it?
want to help us.
Yeah, that's what they said the last time.
Yeah. I'll buy that.
What's the catch?
So far, nothing. They gave this Lucius's memories back.
You see, Damien points at Lucius like, "You're back, right? It's you now."
Sure.
Okay. Because there's
I'm-
something weird about this, he says, and he kind of gestures generally to you, and you remember, like, oh yeah, this guy has like some weird aura sight ability or whatever that he can see.
Yeah. I'm up to speed. We'll say that.
Well, that's good, he says.
We're not sure where
Welcome
the
back.
action. We're not sure where Lucius Prime is, but this Lucius.
I'm Lucius Prime.
You were both Lucius Prime at one point.
Wow. Yeah, so while Lucius is kind of having a miniature identity crisis in his head, you see Damien's like, well, welcome back. Are you sure Sean's going to be okay by himself? We're talking about the Global Liberation Society, right? Like, this is an entire militia out there.
I'd be
I
afraid.
mean, I know
for
he's tough, but what the fuck, man?
I sent the
don't see
Treant
the-
with him. I imagine the two of them could get in enough trouble.
Oh, shit. I mean, he could get in enough trouble by himself. Like, you throw in the Treant as well? Oh, crap. Does he respond to does it respond to his commands?
Yeah.
Okay. You see, eventually, the phone rings from behind the booth at the diner. Some cranky old guy picks up. Yeah? Who? Jay, who's the fool over here? Who's Jay Fool?
That's me. I'll be right there.
Oh shit, it's
think
not
it
a
worked.
prank call after all. Yeah, alright, hold on. He hands you it's an old ass analog phone, he hands it to you, and
Oh, nice. Oh, I like this. Solid.
you hear on the other end, like,
This is Jay.
I saw what you did back there. And it's like, but the people that you're hanging around with are occultist familia. So what do you really want?
They were familiar. Look, I don't want to give you the details over the phone. It's probably better in person, just for safety sake reasons. You know how that works. Those bastards can hear everything. They just tried to kill us earlier yesterday. Those folks saved us because they don't like what's going on in the organization.
All right. So you hear a breather into the phone, and she's like, "All right, I'm just in this to help William."
No, I understand. This benefits
All right,
the city greatly.
He talks real fast. It's like, meet me at, and she gives you like some location on the water side at like tomorrow afternoon. Maybe there in the afternoon. It's late. Click.
Right. Well, looks like feeding the homeless got us a pass. So
they're part of the city. So yeah.
We have to meet her tomorrow at this location by the waterfront in the afternoon.
Excellent. All right.
So we should eat up and sleep up.
You see Ella's like, don't talk about sleep, please. So she's like smoking a cigarette and like taking a sip of coffee and like going back, oscillating back and forth. You see Yus is like, yes, we should probably relax until at least tomorrow afternoon. Get the things that you need. I think we're finally making some progress. Maybe once we make contact with Eve, now that she's more willing to receive us, maybe now we can finally get a hold of William and get him out from underneath the occultist familia. One step at a time. So, all right, back to Sean.
Everything's fine with Sean. We don't have to go back to him.
Yeah. So things are happening.
No, I know about the things happening. I'm sneaking in. It's fine. No one spotted me yet.
Yeah, you pull back and you see your father's dead corpse staring back up at you.
And
this is probably going to require... No, I'm not going to require a check for that. I was going to say, helpless. You don't give a shit about this book.
Not about Frank Gordon.
You feel kind of robbed if he's dead.
Well,
like, oh, wait a minute.
He's not an idiot, and he has a thought. Like, I think it would require a roll, just because like William's watch is sitting there as well, and
yeah,
that's really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So what would
Jackson's
you like me to
not
roll?
Here, from what you can tell. This would be where they would keep him. You would imagine in some sort of a locked cell, deep underneath the bunker.
And this is the only cell here?
No, there's several. You go out and check the other ones, though. There's that little metal slot that you slide open and you look inside. There's nobody else here. No other prisoners.
All right, so no other prisoners. I am going to take some... How to do this? I'm going to go back to where... No, they wouldn't care about that. I'm going to go back to where I start, like the hallway is, from the... leading into the prison cell.
Yeah.
And,
what do you do with the guard?
I'll put my clothes on him.
You switch places? You switch clothes?
Yeah, I'll put my clothes on him, and I'll just...
So you have his walkie... You have his walkie on on the bulletproof vest?
Yep.
Covers your torso?
And
put your little red hat on, and yeah, you hear the squawk from the walkie-talkie, like... It's like, somebody's here! Find him!
I'm gonna take one of the grenades I have off and just like a string, right? And then I'm going to take as far as that string can go, and I'm going to put the grenade in the door and shut the door, so it's just like the string and the grenade right there.
All right.
And then I'm just going to walk until that string is gone, and then as soon as I get away, or as soon as the string runs out, I'm going to yank on the string, hopefully pulling the pin on the grenade, and I'm just gonna walk away.
What did you tell the treant to do while you did all this Rambo shit?
I put him in the back of one of the empty trucks there.
Oh, so it kind of scuttled
right
over
outside
and
the building,
leapt in, and just kind of hid,
just hid
flattened
there
itself
for a
out.
minute,
Okay, cool.
And I'm gonna actually, like, because we have an intruder, I'm in my getup. I'm gonna take my AK and I'm gonna start like jogging, pull the pin on the grenade, start jogging out there like I'm actually looking for somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am going to see if I can run by the buildings outside of the complex and just check and see if my boy is in there. And if he's not, if I think that this place is clean and Jackson's not there, I'm going to whistle for the treant, or I would like to, if I get that far. This is my entire plan. I'm going to whistle for the treant, and he's going to make his way, and he's just going to light up the truck he's in. He's going to light up the truck he's in, and I'm going to make my way away from that truck, and just like he's going to scuttle out of there and meet me where I'm at, lighting shit on fire the whole way through, hopefully drawing people away, and I jump the fence and I get out of there.
Okay,
that's my plan.
If you're just running by the buildings and taking a quick look, there's a lot of chaos taking place right now. Give me a notice roll, and you can use your obsession for this.
Okay.
Flip flop the roll. Thank you for rolling, Jesse. Corey.
Use a reroll.
Well, can you make it with the flip flop? Can you flip flop it with the obsession?
No, it's a 45. I got a 47.
Oh, got it. Missed that. Okay.
27.
Yeah. You with a critical eye, you glance inside of each one of these buildings as you're running by. There's a big explosion behind you in the bunker, and they all hear it. And they're like, "The bunker, go!" And like you see a bunch of people rushing out that way. The whole place is getting locked down now. Like they closed the gates, and they're posting people along the edges of the wire fence. They're taking positions. You run out and you take a glance at the inside the buildings. There's no sign of him here, but you do spot something. It looks like they have his stuff, like the jacket he was wearing, the backpack, and everything like that. It's sitting in inside one of the tents. And when you go over there, you look, and it's like, yeah, whatever happened here, they took him and left his stuff behind. The stuff that he had with you when he was going with you on that trip initially at the very beginning of the game.
Okay.
It's like it's full of camping gear or whatever it was that you wanted to take him out for.
Yeah, could go on a hike. It's gonna be good times. He's trying to get away from his mom.
Exactly.
And yeah, you look at it about that anymore. Ha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
well,
dark.
you hold.
I hate myself.
You hold the jacket, and you're just like, is he still alive? And like you look around, there's no sign that they buried anybody or burned anybody or anything like that. The only dead body that you've been able to find out here is Frank Gordon's. Kind of leads you to think, like, what do they want with William, and why is Jackson still alive? And if he's not here, where is he?
He's gonna make his way away from the compound as fast as he can. He's gonna whistle.
Yeah, you can try to move. Yeah. You can move over there and whistle for the treant to act, but there are people actively in between you and the outside of the fence line. Like you would have, it's not going to be a simple stealth to just sneak past them. They're all on alert now. 2 explosions, one within the compound. The whole place is locked down.
Okay.
So they're looking around. If anything unusual happens, they're lighting people up. They're going to light you up on sight. So how exactly are you going to try to get away? Are you going to try to hijack the truck and just blast your way through the door, through the gates, or what are you doing?
I'm actually I'm in the guard uniform, so I'm just gonna start walking out,
mm-hmm.
and keep my hat relatively low with my gun up, like I'm, or with my gun at the ready, and start jogging right past them, and I'll try and just talk my way past them.
You're gonna try to talk. You hear there's an argument taking place in front of the bunker where the explosion went off. It's like, just some suicide motherfucker came down here, blew himself up with a grenade. You see the other guy's like, what are you, fucking daft? Nobody did that. Lock the place down. Anybody trying to leave or enter this place dies. You understand? So you hear somebody's like giving orders and shit. You whistle for the Treant to light the truck on fire and just keep setting fires?
I'm gonna whistle for the Treant to light the truck on fire. I hear this. I hear this, and I hear that they're locking the place down. So I'm gonna try and find a place that I can actually climb up and over the chain link fence, right?
Okay. Trying to find a gap and just make a run for it.
well, try and find a gap, make a run for it. But I'm also gonna take like a big. I'm gonna take a big rock. I'm gonna whistle for the Treant and light the truck on fire. Put the rock on the gas pedal and shift it into drive and throw it at the gate. And if I can find a place to get out, I'm just going to. Hopefully that's enough confusion to get the fuck out.
Roll a pursuit roll. Make a pursuit roll for me real quick.
I got to reroll. God, I'm going through them so fast. Oh no.
Right.
I gotta use my last one. Oh no.
The Treant takes 20 damage as like two of the guards posted near the gate see that him lighting the car on fire, and this guy, the car like being like jettisoned to the gate. They're just like, bah, 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 bah. Like, what the fuck is that? Holy shit! Hey, do not make their
wound threshold 60.
Oh,
just so you know.
Okay,
so I'm gonna use my hunter for this if I can, and flop that to a 16.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, you successfully managed to go out the entryway that was just created by the truck as it like on fire, like barreled through and like knocked down the fencing on that side. One of the guards like strafed it with his AK, like bah, 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 saw that there was nobody inside, looked back and saw the fucking Treant like standing up, rearing its many limbs and like just breathing fire all around it onto the buildings and shit. And like, what? He's just kind of standing there like, ah! He screams and fires at it. The other one like sees it, doesn't understand what he's looking at, but it's like, oh no, fuck that, and starts firing at that as well. This of course attracts the attention of the rest of the militia, and they start moving towards that side of the base. Go, kill him! You take off into the woods as fast as they can, but there's like two people like shooting at you. Roll a dodge. Give me 2 dodge rolls.
2 dodge rolls.
Ooh.
You want them from the Treant too?
Yes, please.
If I can flop, it's going to be a 13 and a 2.
So luckily, it's far enough away that it doesn't completely pierce the armor, but it hurts like a son of a bitch. And they just like, you made one of them, right?
Using my hunter to flop it, I'll make both of them.
Oh, you also get a 10% roll added to anything you do because this is the opposition. And also, I'm going to say that you're high enough in your avatar that you can use your avatar skill for any skill.
Ooh, will do.
Okay, so you only take part of that then. Shit, still hurts like a motherfucker though. Like you get a couple slugs like embedded in the back. It hurts like a motherfucker, and like you're just like having to limp and like hide behind the tree as like these two are like chasing you through the forest and like trying to like basically outmaneuver you. The rest of the camp is busy with the Treant, and they're gonna eat it alive with bullets. As it's just like trying to like light the place on fire and burn it to pieces. Unless you tell it to try to follow you out into the forest and create a forest fire, it's gonna try to like just do it at the last thing you told it to do.
Yes. The eco-conservatives, like the John doesn't like this and thinks burning trees is a poor idea, but he would whistle for the tree ant, and hopefully the tree ant is just burning shit behind him while it tries to follow and runs away.
Okay. So yeah, if it made any slippery rolls, then it successfully dodged, didn't take any damage. Otherwise, it's going to take another 9 wound points.
It got one. So it made one slippery and failed the second.
Ooh, okay. So it successfully moved out of the way just in time as like one of them's like firing on him with a fully automatic assault rifle. The other one just managed to pepper it on its side. The
wound threshold skill is at 60, so. But it takes firearm damage as if it were
hand to hand.
Hand to hand, yeah.
It's essentially like wearing body armor for it. So yeah, it's taking like a lot of fire right now, and it's just like martial arts damage. So it's just like it's getting whittled down though. With your command though, you see like it scuttles around behind you and tries to blend into the background. The rest of these two try to like circumnavigate you while the rest of the group is dealing with the tree ant trying to kill it. This is where you can give me now. You could leave the tree ant behind. You can buy yourself a ticket out of here. You just have to deal with these two peckerheads that are tracking you through the forest, or you can whistle it to come behind you and potentially light them on fire. But then you have the rest of the militia tracking you through the forest. So you have some decisions to make.
I'm actually going to. Hopefully, I can track the tree ant. And I'm just going to try and like whistle for it, try and lock eyes with it, and just point it in a direction to run. And just like, give the universal hand movement for like that fucking way. I'm going to try and like, I'm going to take, like I had 2 grenades, you said. I used one. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take the other grenade as I'm running. Hopefully I time it right, pull the pin, drop it as I'm running, and then just turn around as soon as I hear the explosion. Turn around, take a shot at these guys.
What's your avatar skill at?
62.
Raise it to 71.
Nice.
And if that's higher than any of your other skills, go ahead and roll that.
71. 20.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, you made it. Okay, so 20 will make it. So you just try to rig an explosive with the grenade to trap one of them or both of them?
Yeah, I'm just like
I got it.
Yeah, I'm trying to time it that when I drop the grenade it's 5 seconds and they're just going to walk up on it hopefully without seeing it.
Your bullets are flying over your shoulders and right above your head as they're like chasing you through the forest and taking positions behind the trees and like exchanging gunfire. They're chasing you through here trying to kill you. And you come upon a large downed tree, like the trunk of it is just kind of like on its side. You got to slip underneath and that red cap, that America First cap falls off and you're like, huh. You find this little outstretched branch and you just kind of hang it there. Pull the pin on the grenade and take off. Sure as shit, these two come up and they go, I see you, go. Bah, 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 bah. They just light up the side of this tree and like, the fuck? And then like, because you drop the grenade like in tall, thigh high like weeds, they don't see it until it's too late. And they're like, oh shit, what? There's this big explosion. They both go up. They just die instantly. Well done.
Thank you.
The tree ant goes off that way. If you didn't tell it specifically to meet you back up somewhere, it's gone. Like it's just gonna go off forever, and like they're gonna like sit there like shooting at it as it goes along before it reaches the end of the forest. And next time you're gonna see Wyoming is competing with California with another forest fire. This time,
Jesus.
That's all we need.
Competitions breeds excellence, is what I hear.
Yeah, so with that out of the way, what do? I mean, you managed to give the militia the slip for now. Once they manage to get into their pickup trucks and whatnot, they're going to try to run you down. What are you going to try to do? How are you going to get out of this?
They are... Well, they're looking for the treant right now, most of them.
Most of them are looking
if they
for you. Yeah,
haven't killed it
once they
already.
kill that thing, then they're going to start looking for you.
I'm going to head off in the other direction. Then, like, I saw the treant skitter off. I'm going to head off in the other direction, and I'm going to keep my weapon handy and just, like, I'm just, like, all of these paramilitary groups have, like, they're always wearing camo. Right?
Yes.
So, like, this is an actual camo vest and camo suit.
Yep.
So, like, I'm going to try and, like, as soon as I hear that they're not actually actively following me, I am going to try and a lot of grenades. I'm going to set up. I'm going to start walking, and as soon as I see, like, headlights and stuff, I'm going to try and find one because they're going to go out in a combing pattern. I'm going to try and find one that's away from the group.
Okay, perfect. You have a 70% chance, over a 70% chance to make it, so I'm just going to say you succeed. They go looking for you, and they can't see shit. You are the warrior, and you are in your element right now. So you just, like, you go full on, like, you know, face paint in the woods, like, First Blood style. These guys can't see you. You blend in. Yeah, you blend into the background, and they just keep going on their pickup trucks, trying to look for somebody who they don't know who. Once the danger is past and you've successfully evaded them for the time being, what do you do?
If I think the danger's past and they're not out actively looking for me right now, I'm going to actually, like, I know that there was, let's say he was going east.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to head out to the boundary of the forest west and see where I can get my bearings there, because I'm assuming we came in from the south.
Yeah, there's a highway not too far away that kind of goes around the edge of the national forest here, or the national park.
But I don't actually want to come out from the south, because that's the easiest entry and egress from this area. So I want to come out from the west, and hopefully, like, the sentries are on the south, and just kind of, like, slowly, not slowly, because I need to get the fuck out, but cautiously move to the west and keep my eyes out on the trees and make sure nobody's actively looking for me. And then as soon as I hit the highway, I'm gonna make a phone call.
All right, who are you calling?
Text message to Jesse, be like, shit got real, meet me at the airport, ?
Well, Jesse's always awake if he chooses to be, so.
In Wyoming? Question mark.
Yes.
I think what you're trying to ask Jesse is like, hey, can you meet me at the SeaTac airport after I fly in? Shit got real over here. I'm done with Wyoming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hopper agrees.
Treant is probably dead. I saw him run away. I'm not sure if he's alive. I couldn't track him. Sorry. Sad face.
No reaction on that one, on that front.
Fair.
I think my violence notches are high enough for that.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah, the trying to think, you'd probably be best off driving. I could set up a rental for you.
Cool, thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll like send him the details and, like, you know, set up a Hertz rent-a-car pickup or something.
Sure.
It's about a 6-7 hour drive.
I'm gonna head to the I'm gonna head to the closest motel on the highway, going north, because they're gonna be looking south. So I'm gonna take the highway north and find the closest motel and just be like, "This is the address. Please pick me up."
All right. So you drive. It's a long drive. So yeah, you get your car rental on. You take the long. You're gonna be bleary-eyed by the time you get there, and you're gonna probably go this way as soon as you get to the motel. But yeah, they can probably meet you there in the morning when they wake up.
So, where the hell is Gus?
Where the hell is Gus? That's an excellent question. He was at the mansion last time anybody checked, but you and Lucius have no idea what happened there.
You guys lost Gus? You guys lost Gus. Gus is not here.
Well, I was trying to ask Jace that while we were...
Oh, I'm not there yet. Okay.
Yeah.
You can wake Jace up and ask him. I'm sure he'll be happy to tell you.
Oh, well, if Jace is sleeping, it'll be like my breakfast question for Jace.
Over ham and eggs and picking up Sean from the motel, like, so what happened to Gus exactly?
Well, when David and I went in with Gus to meet with them, it was a trap, and we were able to get away from the guards. David and I were. We found their sacrificial altar in the basement. Gus told us to run and get out of there. He could handle guns, and not to. We said, "Don't worry, I can handle guns." And we got out of there. We left them with Devil present in the basement, and got the hell out of there. And met up with these friends.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He said he could handle guns.
That's what he said.
These are specific. This house that we went to, because we needed their help, was specifically everyone in there was not people that needed guns.
They had guns everywhere, trust me.
But he could handle the... What about everything else? What about everyone else? What about all their powers?
He didn't say anything after that. And he hasn't tried to reach out to us. So
also,
I don't know what's happened to Gus.
Can we rewind just a half second? Okay. Half second rewind. Take me back to the tribute altar. There was a tribute altar?
Yes. Damien and I found a secret stairwell. Thankfully, that's how we got out of the lead guy's office. And in the basement there, countless bodies. I know I knew a bunch that were stacked up against the storm cellar door. There was a young man on the altar who had been killed. It's probably a teenage boy. It didn't look familiar to me.
Okay, describe the teenage boy.
You see Damien shoots you a look, Jace, and just kind of like...
Jace, not the smart guy in the room.
You see Damien's just trying to like walk around Sean as he's sitting at the table, and he's just like...
Teenage boy, altar of the dead. Let's put these two things together. Tell me a story. Paint a words with your pictures.
Didn't quite have
pictures
time.
with your words. Whatever. You didn't
have time to get more detail than that.
I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. Okay. All right. Let's fast forward to the escape. Like, how did you guys escape that room?
Damien summoned.
I summoned a demon. Yeah, he says it like that. It's like I pulled some spirit from beyond the veil, dropped it in the room like a bomb. Whatever happened there, they didn't come after us for a while.
What? You can do that?
Every once in a while, do something like that. Yeah.
The screams were really entertaining as we left. We stole a car, got out of there, got into a shootout with some guards who were chasing us. We ran into some new friends who disagree with what their people are doing.
These are the three silent adepts that are like on the outskirts of your little morning nook breakfast table. There's the Middle Eastern woman with the scar across her mouth, always holding like some sort of rifle slung around her shoulders.
I don't think I was here for them when they crossed our paths.
They were at the crossroads, actually, but you don't remember them because you were unconscious during the whole time. You were trapped underneath the car, so you don't know any of them.
because
This is
everything
the guy
is my
that the
fault.
slick suit, the rumpled suit, and then there's this older lady, pale, white skin, kind of clammy, always sweating, with like the hair matted to the side of her head, and she's always looks like she's asleep, like she's like, like her eyes are twitching and like heavy lidded, and constantly smoking a cigarette and sipping coffee.
Okay, I'm glad we have new friends. I'm assuming there is special as Damien,
Yes, very much so. And we're going to meet another
and
one
nobody's.
this afternoon.
Okay, out of character here, real quick. On the side, I would have asked to actually have my memories of Lucius back before we left the snake pit. Is that something I can do?
You want to negotiate that with the sleepers, that you wanted to remember who Lucius was?
Yes, I would have wanted to ask that question.
Sure.
And
They
just
would
kind
give
of,
you that as a down payment for their assistance. They just need to know what it is that you're planning, and any information having to do with Frank Gordon and his plans. Anything that you can alert them to, that they can help with.
Did they give me a way to contact them?
Yes, I would say that Angela left you a number to call, so that you can get in contact with her, feed information to the sleepers, etc.
Question. I would like to make a roll to remember that number, as a phone has decided to leave an airplane at about 18,000 feet.
Since this pertains to battle against Frank Gordon, you can roll at a 71% chance.
Excellent. I love how this can cut both ways, I'll be honest.
Oh.
I have no rerolls.
No, you have a reroll left.
I don't. Nope.
You don't remember shit about that number. It was probably in your other phone.
Jesse, do you remember the number?
Um,
No, I'm really hoping you remember that number. You have to remember that number right now, Jesse.
I don't know. My memory's not the greatest.
You're a goddamn machine, Jesse. Please don't just.
What should I roll to see if I can remember what the number was?
You see, David's like, "Hey, Jesse is a person. Okay, relax."
Yes.
You can try to roll. It's gonna be
Jesse is
difficult,
also a person. Yes.
Knowledge higher than 30.
Don't get me wrong. I appreciate Jesse as a person. I'm hoping his mechanical memory serves me better. Oh, right now, please help.
Well, I've got a bunch of rerolls, so we'll try it once. Oh, it's not higher than a 30 though.
But it's 29, pretty damn good.
The 29
That is
though.
pretty damn good. Okay, I'll give it to you. You remember the number to call, so you're like,
All except the last number or something.
sure. You have to go through each one. Hello, is this the sleepers? No, this is sleeping mattress. Oh fuck! All right, never mind. Again.
No, is this the sleepers? Right. No, you contact the Insomnia Club.
We need to ask the Entropomancer for the last digit.
Oh yeah, Eustace will be like, oh, try this one. Like, I'll give you the last number. You call them? Do you call them like while you're planning around your morning meal?
Well, when he like recites the number, but everything but the last number, I literally walk over to him and look him dead in the face, real serious. And this is the first bit of news, and the adrenaline high was so high last night. He just gives him a hug. He's feeling very emotional right now. I don't know how Jesse would feel about this.
Oh, Jesse. Yeah.
But he gives him a hug.
Nice.
Jesse probably is like, he's like, yeah, come on, bring it in, come on. At the very like, clap.
3 pets. 3.
But you know what?
Roll a connect roll for me, John. When you get a chance for Sean. And yes, and you actually, and yes, you can actually use. You can actually use. Oh, that's fine. You rolled a 46. So
Out of
because this has to
45.
do, yeah, because this has to do with your obsession. This actually is a successful roll.
Oh shit!
So you give Jesse a hug. You're like, "Hey, it's good to see you again." And you see when you do that, you see this reaction from Damien, like he just kind of walks off, like he sees you like happy, and he just kind of like he looks like he's about to say something, and then he shuts himself up and he walks out of the room.
Okay.
I had a really
I'm gonna
stupid idea last night.
Like, do I notice that at all?
You do. More than that, though, you sense it.
What's going on with Damien?
You see, everybody looks at each other like shrug.
Hey, Damien.
News to me.
He's in the other room.
He he motions, he waves like he's busy, and he walks out. He's outside of the room already. We'll say that this is happening like at a, I don't know, like a bed and breakfast or something like that. Motel or motel room or whatever. Sean's motel room, I would imagine. Everybody's just kind of having breakfast. He just steps outside. Lucius, do you want to do or say anything at this point?
I think Lucius have his nose into his notepad, just write things out, kind of like, just deep in his work, we'll say.
Okay.
If I can, I would actually like to talk to Lucius real quick.
Go right ahead.
Actually, Lucius was with us.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind, I'll talk to Jace. And I'll just be like, okay, it got very quiet very quickly.
It's okay, man. Look, there's a lot going on. I'm worried about Gus as you guys are. I'm just trying to keep going because I know Gus will want me to do that. We as a group have a line on these Urbano monsters. One is being subsumed by the occult mafia, and he's preparing this city to be quote unquote safe during the apocalypse, which doesn't really sound good anyway. And there's another one who's countering what he's doing, and she's agreed to meet with us this afternoon. She's definitely not weak, and definitely could be of use to us.
Good news. I'm going to call the sleepers, and apparently because of the proxy, they thought they were chasing Frank Gordon when they were trying to murder us. So, yay. Now also, I'm going to get a fucking ulcer because y'all have me worried. So fuck y'all.
Milk,
in the most loving way possible.
Have some when I'm drinking it. It makes a difference, trust me.
Thank you. And he's going to like reach for his flask a little bit more too.
Probably don't want to be drinking the alcohol. It's not going to help the ulcer one bit.
It was a figurative ulcer, and he looks right at him as he starts drinking.
It won't be for long. Keep drinking like that.
He just takes another drink, just looking right at him.
It's what's for breakfast. Yes.
Okay, don't say I didn't warn you.
Picks up the phone, makes that phone call. If
calling?
nobody else has
Frank,
anything, if nobody else has anything else to do,
okay,
that call.
You call up the line. It gets rerouted, and you eventually get to somebody who picks up the phone. Hello. And who might this be?
This is Sean Krogan Ford. Is
yes, Frank's son.
Finally, did you know that like the first 8 numbers plus like 3 are the Insomnia Club? What are the fucking chances of that?
She skips right over your question. Did you kill Frank Gordon?
Funny story. No. I got into his base though. I had a very strong wanting to kill him. I couldn't find my son. Did
What
find
do you
his dead
describe?
body.
What do you describe exactly as his base?
There's a paramilitary outpost in northern Wyoming, correct?
That was you, she says,
That was me.
citing the news story about the forest fire.
Yeah, forest fire was not intentional, and I'm hoping my friend's machine made it out okay. That being said, so you know my father, William, or you know of him, correct?
You mean your ancestor?
My ancestor, yes. Well, you know the proxy, correct?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Frank Gordon's not dead. I found William's effects in the bunker with Frank Gordon's body. So
You're suggesting that he took his body?
yes.
Well, that is quite alarming.
So, and he'll he'll give a general description of William. You're gonna want to be on the lookout for him. I couldn't find him in the base. Admittedly, it was an incredibly thorough search. But as you know, it wasn't an easy place to leave either.
Did you find your son?
No. His effects were there, but he was not.
My condolences then, perhaps. Things like whatever it is that he's planning, this could be detrimental to you, Mr. Ford. If Frank Gordon is inhabiting the body of your ancestor and you end up killing him, we don't know what may happen to you or your son.
On the plus side, if we end up killing him, if we end up killing William, we all disappear.
That's certainly one theory, isn't it?
Well, I mean, the theory is very the theory
esoteric.
Like the theory is esoteric, and then it also kind of contradicts the theory that all mass has to go somewhere. It can't just disappear. So
You mean like your friend?
yes, like my friend, but
I think we've seen that the laws of reality are not quite what we thought they were.
you're correct on that one. I should throw out every physics book I've ever read. But that's what I've got on my end.
Well, I'm glad that you reached out. It's like I think we're prepared to move forward. Do you have any new information about his web?
We are currently working on that. I don't think he was in the base, but I don't know either. I couldn't get a positive ID.
Uh-oh. Eric? Did we lose you?
He's just judging me from very far away. and
That is a judging gaze if I've ever seen one.
he's just
Wow.
like, that's an intense gaze. He's just like, you done fucked up, son. That's what that is.
Yeah. Well,
We're about to find out.
while Sean's having that conversation on the phone, I'll drag some cameras around here in a second. While Sean's having that conversation on the phone, Jesse will say something to Jace. I wonder if I could create another Gus.
Wyoming does
Sorry
not
about
exist.
that. I had a hiccup.
And then Sorry.
All right, sorry. Where were we?
What? Jesse?
Lucius was just writing down that Wyoming clearly doesn't exist.
I mean, clearly, right?
Jace literally, he drops the
Really?
business degree out of his mouth as you say that. What did you just say?
Gus is much asked for a replacement, right?
He has asked for a replacement, yes.
But
A lot
you
of this
only
is
can-
actually just about that. He's looking for somebody to replace him because he wants out of the game.
But you can only make a shell, right? It wouldn't be Gus. Gus, it'd be
No one's
Gus,
ever
so-
attempted this.
Frankenstein Gus.
I have,
Not of him.
I have
At
a
least not
question.
one of.
Sorry. Out of character, John feels really bad because he's been talking for a long time. I apologize.
That's all right.
Jesse, you said you could make a copy. At one point, we discussed tracking my son. Is that something you can still do?
If we think it would help. But the more I think about it, the more I think maybe we should create another Gus.
I don't know if we can do that. I mean, Gus isn't like us. I mean, he's definitely not from this world in many ways. It might just be a shell.
But two are
Why not?
connected, though, right? Like the copies. Does Gus feel what he feels? Is there any way we can
No,
use this
not
to
like
our
that.
advantage?
Potentially. You can definitely create a lookalike. You also have a mask if you wanted. If the idea was to just like make someone look like somebody else, you do have the mask that Vega gave you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It allows you to make yourself look like anybody else, including Frank Gordon, anybody like that.
I'm I would like to actively make steps. I know I've been talking about it for a while. To try and do something about this proxy. I would like to actively try and just be different than Frank Gordon. I want to have nothing to do with him.
Okay.
Like, I want to try and like empty myself.
You have to get with Lucius because he is in possession of the manifesto that Frank Gordon wrote that is entirely about annihilamancy. Letting things go, letting things be destroyed.
Yeah, so he
The opposite of Gus, repairing and upkeep. The eternal struggle. He's just like, fuck it all, let it all go to shit.
That's the key. That's it right there.
Mhm.
I have to be more like Gus.
You have to be more like Gus. Oh my. That's the first time Sean's ever said, or I think even entertained such a thought. I think since the beginning of the game. So that's a development.
Coming off of burning down half of Wyoming, I'm saying that's a pretty big step for you.
Not intentional. I chose half a forest over bullets in my back. I'll be honest. I regret nothing.
Angela tells you, like, whatever it is that you're planning, we would appreciate any heads up. If you find information about Gordon's actual whereabouts, where this plan is exactly supposed to take place in Seattle, we have agents already in the city. We're just waiting for the right moment to strike. We need a location, obviously, and an idea of what kind of opposition we're up against.
Or it's the occult mafia.
Yes, the Occultus Familia. We've been made aware.
Do we have an idea on how to locate William?
We know where their
I
house
think
is.
that there may be a way now. If I think significant enough of the proxy has changed significantly enough that I think we might be able to single him out specifically. Frank Gordon, after all, is finally dead.
Good.
Is he?
That's where we start. We find him. We find his plan.
Give us a few hours. We'll make contact back with you on this phone. In the meantime, I suggest you be careful. Just because Frank Gordon's body is dead doesn't mean anything, really. His plan still lives.
That's
Stay in
true.
contact.
He's got a death mage with him. He's probably not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you remember he could take control of our bodies against our will.
And remember, those who are closest to him, who are bloodkin, are the ones that he can possess the easiest. That's why he was able to take control of you, and how he might be taking control of William or your son, even.
That thought had crossed his mind.
So you finish up your
That's-
breakfast and your talk with Angela from the Sleepers. What do you do from here? Where do you go to meet with? Do you all go collectively to meet with Eve on the waterfront as she
I'm
requested?
planning on meeting with Eve. If you guys want to do something else, that's understandable.
I do kind of want to go, but at the same time, like he just got from a very long drive.
Yeah.
Got here from a very long drive, and he's like, "Is this a diplomatic mission? Or are you gonna need me to hit something, to shoot
Probably
something?"
not.
Please God, I hope not. She's dangerous.
That's
You're just
fair.
building on our friend over here.
And you see,
that's fun.
Eustace has like an ice pack on his head, on the back of his head. He's like, "Hi,
You look really good for getting in fight with a building, my dude.
thank you."
You missed the shootout.
It wasn't
earlier.
as bad as it
Yesterday morning.
looked.
Fair. I'll stay here. I'm gonna get some sleep.
These
we're
folks
gonna-
can go, Eustace and I can go with me, and they can provide cover if you guys want do other things. I understand.
Well, we're gonna be ready to move here in probably a couple hours. And I don't want to be exhausted when that happens. So I'm gonna go get some sleep.
All right. The rest of you, what are you doing? Do you go to the meetup with Eve, or do you stay behind? What do you want to do?
So, Urbanomancers. Anyone know what they can do?
They control
A couple of a couple of the adepts raise their hands.
Can they find people?
Yeah, as long as it's within the city, Eustace says. Yeah, I probably can.
Can Eve help us find Gus?
That we may be able to do, but who's this Gus person? We need do you know their real name?
No. For
Yes.
good reason too.
Everybody
I shoot a
stops and
look
looks at
Jesse for
Jesse.
that.
Do you say that while you're still in the room?
When everyone kind of laughs at the joke of no, I just actually say, like, calmly, yes.
Good place to stop it right there too.
So
Damien just does this.
Sean's on the bed, like kind of like pillow over his face, and he just looks up from the pillow, eyes Jesse, and goes, "Same." Shuts the pillow.
You know his true name as well. That's right.
I very pointedly haven't given it up yet because I remember Galsan.
That's right. Yeah. So he see Eustace like, as I was saying, yes, you would need the true name of this person, and yes, an Urbanomancer might be able to find them easily as long as they're within the city, their city.
Well, then we can find Gus.
Is that going to be the first order of business before we go after William? Or he's to specify, because there's two Williams that we're talking about currently. Mr. Barkley or Wizzy. Let's just call him Wizzy.
Oh.
We're a second Urbanomancer. We've got to track down and deal with who's helping the occultist familia. And if we take him out of the equation, that shoots their plans to utter shit. He's the linchpin.
Yeah. You see, he's like, Damien's like, yeah, I think you're right. Let's meet up with Eve. Let's offer her the ability to be able to grab William, pull him away from the occultist familia, and in return, she can help us find Gus. If we get Gus on our side, we're good as gold.
Also, I just thought about this. I haven't had a chance to face with Frank Gordon since he took over William's body. He hasn't had a chance to give him up. Yeah, he's gonna lift the pillow again for a half second and go, "When you get back, Lucius, I want to not be like my dad. So can you make that happen? Cool, thanks." Puts the pillow back down.
Lucius just looks up from his little pad that now says in big letters, "Wyoming exists?" ? Just looks up. Yeah, sure.
Nice.
Cool, thanks. Going to bed now.
Nice.
You see, the majority of you pack into the car and start heading out to the waterfront to meet with Eve. And the whole time, Damien's quiet. Like, he doesn't talk. Usually he's pretty... He communicates with you guys, but the whole time he's just looking out the window, doesn't say a word.
Okay, Damien. Penny for your thoughts. I actually no. I finished. I have buckshot in my pants. A buckshot for your thoughts.
I think I figured out who that person was in the basement.
Wait, you don't think it's...
I don't think he was bluffing. Remember, he has a death mage. Death mages get their power from significant sacrifices. Significant sacrifices that are significant to either the caster or those who are participating in the ritual, he says.
Oh.
Who might have been participating in a ritual with a death mage? Frank Gordon. And that's where we'll stop. All right. All right, everybody. That's all the time we have for this session. I hope everyone here and those watching enjoyed the show. We'll continue our adventure into the Occult Underground next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you enjoyed tonight's program, feel free to check out our other awesome adventures and terrifying tales. In the way of awesome adventures, Tuesday we have Squeaks in the Deep on the Onyx Path channel. Wednesdays brings us Deadlands, Horror at Headstone Hill. Thursdays we have Star Trek Dauntless, and Fridays it's Scarred Lands Dracogenesis Season 2. In the coming soon category, we have Achtung Cthulhu on Wednesdays starting September 1st, and Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden on Saturdays beginning September 4th. On Mondays, we have Delta Green, A Dirge for the End of the World. Tuesdays, check out Chronicles of Darkness's Mage the Awakening Book 1 Defiance. Friday, it's Contagion Chronicle, No Time for Reality finale on the Onyx Path channel. And Saturday, it's Ghost Hunters and Wraith the Oblivion mashup, The Exorcism of Anessa Grace. And later this evening, we bring you the V20 Anniversary Chronicle, Starlight and Smoke. Coming soon is Black Void on Friday, starting August 27th, and Cult Divinity Lost on Sundays, starting September 12th. And now for those of you who stayed after the credits roll, it's time to vote for favorites. All players in this game can select another player as their favorite for this session for any reason. Recipients get a reward in the form of a reroll for their character. For viewers, voting is open as well. You too can choose a new favorite each week for all of our shows, but you have to be quick as voting ends just after their closing reel finishes. So be sure to cast your votes in the Twitch chat as soon as you can. Beginning with Key, who played Lucius this afternoon. Who's your favorite and why?
I have to vote for Jace. Specifically for walking up to the door and just ringing the doorbell.
Narrowly dodging a shotgun blast to his abdomen?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty gutsy.
No, not gutsy. He's stupid. Jace is a fool. He's not intelligent. He makes dumb choices. On
There's
purpose.
a fine line between courage and stupidity.
This is true.
And Mike, who played Jace this afternoon. Who's your favorite?
It was a tough call, but I'm gonna go all the way to the end and give mine to Jesse for the wait till everyone laughs and then say, "Oh no, I know his name."
Yeah, that's a great moment. Yeah, perfect timing. John, who played Sean this afternoon. Who's your favorite?
I'm gonna give mine to Jesse for saying. I'm just being like, hey, call me an Uber, please.
And for sending the treant with you. That changed the whole dynamic.
The treant saved my life, and I'm sorry I left the treant to die. I feel bad. Sorry.
And last but not least, of course, Corey, who played Jesse this afternoon. Who's your favorite?
I'm gonna have to throw mine to Sean for the liquid snake impression.
Hell yeah! Thank you.
Liquid snake.
Yes, that was great.
Great.
That whole scene was just great.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Well, everyone, I've been Eric at Maron Recluse on Twitter. You can find me here later tonight for Starlight and Smoke. Big thanks, as always, to our patrons for supporting what we do. If you want to be awesome and do the same, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/VorpalTales and keep up to date on what we're doing throughout the month by checking the updated calendar on VorpalTales.com. And thanks to you, our viewers and fans, for tuning in. As always, stay charged, never play a drinking game with a booze hound, and don't violate your taboos. Good night, everybody.